wise person once said that in order to be successful, you must build upon a solid foundation, for without a solid foundation, you may never reach as high as you could go. Trusted for over 23 years, GGT Footing is the foundation to build upon. Supplying horse arena builders worldwide with the best footing additives. GGT Footing makes the difference.
The concept is simple. In pursuit of one of equestrian's most coveted prizes, all roads lead to Las Vegas, to the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Final. But nothing in this sport is easy, and this is a prize that isn't awarded. It has to be earned. By competing for crucial points against the sport's very best across North America to seize the opportunity to jump for the Cup in Vegas next spring. In the end, only one rider will be enshrined amongst the greats of the sport who have done what it takes to capture.
Is he going to win the final one? Yes, it is!
The Longines FEI Jumping World Cup.
Everyone, welcome to the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Sacramento. We are about to start our $36,500 Grand Prix Qualifier, which is a qualifier for the World Cup qualifying class on Saturday night. We have a field of 44 starters this evening, so it should be an exciting class. I'm Susan Artez. I'm starting by myself this evening as my partner in crime, Davin, is stuck out announcing in another arena, but he'll join us after a few horses have gone probably. Looking at our course tonight, it's 12 fences. Looks like I'm trying to figure out if the time allowed is going to be very tight. It looks very tight to me at 74 seconds. It's a small arena, but the jumps come up quick. All these guys are pretty used to having a tight time allowed for these bigger competitions. And I believe we're going to see a vaulting demonstration this evening before the class starts. It's been a while since we've seen one of those. We've almost got the ring finished. Oxers look a little bit wide. It's a meter 50 jump-off class tonight. We've got a couple of birthdays, I think, for riders this evening. I think it's Rich Feller's birthday, and I want to say he's turning 60. I believe that to be the case. I think it was Harley Brown's birthday a couple of nights ago. So I'm looking through our start list. Carrie Roofer's got 2 horses. We've got Viggo Bjorklund, who won last week's Grand Prix on Saturday night and was super fast in the jump off. Got a couple of older horses. We've got Yonker Z, ridden by Guy Thomas, who's 17 years old, and Konehito, ridden by Carol Wright. He's also 17 years old, so that's always fun. And I believe we've got a couple of 8-year-olds in the class tonight, too. I just elected not to do my 8-year-old this evening, as I thought he would still be a little bit green, but I know Ashley Bond's got an 8-year-old tonight, as does Nick Delajoyo. So I think a couple young ones, a couple older ones, and a bunch in between. We have a 6 o'clock start time. So we're about 4 minutes from starting. In walking the course, it was a little bit tricky to figure out how you wanted to get to number 1. It's a little bit sort of hidden behind some other jumps, and people were debating whether they wanted to come off the right lead, off a turn, or off a longer approach, off the left. Can they hear him also? Okay, so just me. Okay.
Special people. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in wishing a happy birthday to Mr. Rich Fellers.
It is indeed.
And Lou Thomas to Rich.
We've got 3 birthdays. We've got Lou Thomas, who's Guy Thomas's mother. It's her birthday today. Lindsay Long, who works for West Palms Events, and Rich Fellers. So now they're singing happy birthday, and I don't know if I'm brave enough to sing happy birthday to all of you. So a few of you have heard my birthday song before. Maybe I'll sing happy birthday if someone wins. All right. Putting the final touches on. The red carpet's going to be rolled up here in a second. Maybe I'm wrong about the vaulting demonstration. I thought I saw them getting ready for that, but I could be wrong.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the good news is the top of the order very close to being ready here for our Grand Prix qualifier. Before we welcome
It's a nice warm evening, actually. I don't think wind will be a factor, whereas last Saturday night's class was quite windy. We actually had to go on a break for about 45 minutes after the first 3 horses went because there was lightning and very, very windy, and we all kind of jumped off our horses and hung around in the indoor warm-up area, and then finally we decided to go. But tonight looks really lovely, actually. And we've got our national anthem going now. Okay, here we go. We've got our first rider in the ring. It's Carrie Rufer on Georgie. We all affectionately call him the hippo, the flying hippo, because he is built a little bit like a hippopotamus, but he doesn't jump like a hippopotamus. He's letting him have a good look around. So, as I said, it would be a little bit of a difficult approach to the first jump. So it looks to me like she's going to plan on coming off the right lead. And of course, going early in the order, you need to be quick across the ground because you know that time allowed is going to be a bit tight.
Representing the United States, she's aboard the first of a couple that she'll be riding this evening. She has the right here, the 13-year-old stallion, Georgie Inn. Here we go.
Carrie's got 2 horses this evening. This is the first of 2. Time allowed is 74 seconds.
First round of competition is number 1 through 12 to 15 jumping efforts. We've got a double mountain.
She's heading to number 1 off the right lead, and I do think you're going to see, quite a few people coming off the left or the right, but she's got to be a little quick. The first jump down, that is always such a takes the wind right out of your sails. And a little bit sticky to 2 now. It does look as though you sort of aim at the wrong jump and before you turn to 3AB. Everybody pretty much walked that in 8 strides, and I don't think that's going to be too complicated. And now she's turning the corner to a very flat 5 strides. It walks about 8.5 feet long, I would say. And then she opted for 8 strides there. Some people, I think, will do 8. Some of the bigger strided horses might do 7 there. And then wide oxer, 3 strides, and I don't know too many. Nobody really walked to this to the end jump. And then that also could be off your eye, or 8 or 9 strides, maybe 8 for some of the bigger horses. It's such a shame she had that first jump down. And a nice 8 to the last jump. Those striped rails are always difficult to kind of zone in on. Her time was 69.035. Oh, sorry, 70.48. Well, just the first jump down, so a good score and well under the time allowed. And my partner in crime has arrived. Hi, Davin.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you? I've hardly seen you all week.
No, I've not seen you all week here. It's been an awesome week here in Sacramento.
It was a really nice weather so far, and
so that was our first entry. Carrie Rufer for the USA, Georgie Dover EC. As you mentioned, that first fence coming down. It's always a tough way to start with fence number 1, but Carrie is such a great rider.
Good opportunity to introduce our terrific panel this evening. Our President Dave Lee, very nice to have Dave with us.
they always do such a nice job here. The footing's good, the lighting is nice, the jumps are beautiful and freshly painted. I kept seeing pictures on on Instagram of them painting the jumps a couple of weeks ago.
And they look absolutely gorgeous, lots of color. And there's that solid tone. So second rider, Ali Leopold Moreno, and the Sol Francais, Valentino du Soleil.
This is the 10-year-old Valentino du Soleil, owned by Phyllis Thomas.
This is a very nice horse, and she's had it probably about 2 years now.
I guess as I just got here, I get to learn the course.
You do get to learn the course. So
This
here
is
we
awesome.
are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's an uncomplicated 8 strides into the double. This is a very scopy horse, and he's, I think he did some of the Meter 45 classes last year and moving up this year to do some bigger classes, and he jumps this with ease.
So going in the first couple, when you're, and unfortunately that comes down for Ali Leopold Moreno, a 4-fault score so far.
I think he does have it, like I said, that 5 stride walks quite long. It walks a little longer than on a half stride, and I think she maybe just overrode that. And this horse has such a big stride for a small horse.
On fence number 9, right at the apex of the ring, almost right by the in gate as well. Now
A little too deep there.
has to work through it.
Yeah, so that caught up to her because she got a little bit backward. I a lot of us walked that line. Some did, some didn't. But I think 8 strides on a big horse, 9 strides on a smaller horse. But she accidentally put 10 in there. But what a trier! Really nice horse.
That was a nice time as well, 73.32 seconds. 8 jumping faults. That's going to put her in a second place right now. Carrie Rufer in the lead. Still only 2 we have seen so far at a nice large field of 44 that are Prix Qualifier.
And in the past, she struggled a little bit, with these tight time alloweds. So I think she'll be happy with herself in that she made the time allowed, and I think that that's an improvement. He certainly jumped it very easily.
So the sound of the tone, and that is that invitation for the next ride of the third of our, once again, 44 joining us, Morgan Kaplan aboard Ekumonia. And a Royal Dutch Warmblood, sired by Namalosar, 14-year-old gelding. So a professional rider, I do believe, out of Oakland, California.
I believe you're correct. She's also choosing to come off the right lead, which is, it's just a little bit, either way, it's a little bit tricky to get to. I don't know whether that had any bearing on why Carrie had the first jump down, but
it's interesting from looking at it from this angle. It's almost like a little bit of a chute to come down a fence.
Right, yeah. This horse is really jumping well, and Morgan's been riding well.
Nice through that first of the 2 combinations on course. Okay, so nicely over that Liverpool. And these fences, they, as you mentioned, painted all the previous week running up to this, and they look absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, they do. And Flora does a great job decorating with all the flowers and everything. Oh, that 3 got short for her, but so far so good. This horse has a very big stride. It's a big horse.
He does look like a very big horse.
And there's the 8 I like for a bigger horse. I think it just makes the combination ride a little smoother.
Uh-oh.
Well, I guess I lied about that, didn't I?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, things happen.
It's a little tricky away from the gate, the combination, and I think no matter what the number is of strides that you get into the combination, it's still riding a bit backward. I feel like the horses are looking through to see, and it's very, very airy. They've got little gates underneath at A and at C, but the vertical in the middle is very plain.
And those are very unique gates, and hopefully, as you see those gates, you don't see that type of cutout on the gates.
Right,
often.
right. And the horse shifted left, and then I think when she tried to straighten him out, he just cut down a little bit.
So that'll be 8 jumping faults. The time, 70.21 seconds. And we just heard Adrian Ward, the in-ring announcer, mention that the time allowed will remain at 74 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair time allowed.
We've had those reference times of 70.48, 73.32, and a 70.21 seconds. I mean, time obviously should be a factor if you're dawdling out there, but these horses and riders, they are going on pace. They know exactly.
Well, and quite honestly, with a course like this and an arena like this, they're really, if you start trying to, if you are slow, you're going to have jumps down. I think you've got to get on a lick and stay there. There's no place, no room to be pokey out here. You've got to keep coming forward. Now, Andrew is new to jumping this level. He's worked really hard over the last few years to get to this point. He rode great last week and placed very well in the $40,000 Grand Prix on Saturday night. And I think everyone's really proud of him. And he's newlywed. He just got married a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Congratulations for Andrew. So Andrew Jane aboard Cartel, 13-year-old gray gelding, sired by Car2C, horse owned by Maplewood Incorporated of Reno, Nevada. And Andrew Jane as well did very well last night in the FEI Welcome. And so his riding is really starting to be very solid, very consistent.
Yeah, and he looks very confident. Ooh, lucky rub there. He didn't quite fit the 3 in as well as he may have hoped, and he got a little lucky getting away with that rub. He feels a little slow to me. And there's, again, a quiet ride. And then he's going to have to push a little here, which he did. And he trusted his horse. Didn't I think he could have used a little bit more leg there. It's just a little casual.
It was interesting. From here, you could actually hear him clucking off the ground.
Yes, you could hear that.
Now, that corkscrew, just at the last fence,
wow,
hasn't seemed to be been a problem. The corkscrew.
No, it hasn't been. No, I think that was quite a respectable round, actually.
Well, right now, so that time 72.39 seconds, 4 jumping faults. Gives us that tie in the early stages of our $36,500 Grand Prix qualifier. We're watching that, him coming into this triple. facial expression.
Ride in maybe quite as forward as he could have, and that might have saved it. But all in all, a very good score considering his lack of experience at this level. It certainly didn't look like he was lacking experience, did it?
Well, Alessandro Volpi, an 18-year-old rider here. Foster, an 11-year-old gelding, is the Hanoverian. And sired by 4 Edition. Alessandro Volpi, amateur rider at 18 years of age. Oh, that was too bad.
Yeah, this is, for a young rider at this stage, this is a lot of course. Things come up very quickly, and there's really nothing like just getting the mileage in the ring. So you got to start somewhere. I do like this horse quite a lot. He's very kind.
And that's pretty much what you're looking for, especially for a junior horse or an amateur horse, is one that's kind, that's forgiving, and is really not as difficult to can have.
Well, right. It's just like dating, Davin. I mean, you really want to find someone kind, right?
That is very true.
Although you're kind of a newlywed yourself, so
I am as of July 14th.
Yeah. Horse is jumping really well and very easily.
And that was really nice through that triple combination. She just had that early rail, so 4 faults down to the last fence.
Yeah, and she looks very calm,
Oh,
a little shift to the right and maybe just lost a little momentum there.
So that second fence down, the final fence down as well. That'll be 8 jumping faults, 71.41 seconds. Well, the second fastest of the 8 faulters. And we have a look back at Alessandro Volpi and Foster. Just coming into fence number 2 here. And kind of seemed like that. I mean, it was the
maybe a little bit deep, but it's hard to say because our angle is from behind, so sometimes it's difficult to see. But it did look like the horse took a little bit of a shorter step that last step.
Well, Lux Lady's the next horse. The rider, he is famous right across the world. Rich Fellers for the USA.
And I believe it's his 60th birthday today, Davin.
It is his birthday today.
And
yes.
I think it's number 60, which was even more amazing when he won. I believe he won he won a big class last week in the jump off with no stirrups. The last half of the jump off.
Oh wow!
It was very impressive.
Well, unfortunately, the same fence that Alessandro had down, fence number 2.
It's not going to be a birthday day for him, apparently. Not on this horse.
Well, right now, I mean, we do have the 2 tie for the lead. I think we are going to have a clear on this course with the 2 4-faulters tied for first place.
It's always fun to watch Rich in the jump off. So let's. Yeah, I mean, we've got some very fast horses and riders here, and this is always such a great venue.
Okay, so 4 faults to this point in time as he's making that approach to fence number 9, just on the top end of the ring.
Ooh.
The horse had to stretch a little bit over that fence, but Rich and his horses, they're absolutely amazing partners together.
Well, and at this time of the day we do get some light and shadows. I mean, you can see, I can see from here that as he's coming to this last jump, there's a bit of sunlight. You can't tell from this angle, but it's going to look a little tricky. And obviously, some horses will be jumping in the dark, and some won't. So it's when you happen to be in this arena when the sun's going down, there's some places where the light hits the jumps in an awkward fashion. For Saturday night's Grand Prix, it starts later, so I think everyone will have more of an opportunity to jump exactly under the same conditions and same light.
So here's that rail for Rich Fellers. Once again, from our vantage point, yes, it is behind. That was a front rail at fence number 2. Just the front rail, the front end taking, unfortunately, just hitting that barely. But still a beautiful ride as always, Rich Fellers. Happy birthday. Well, our first 6 riders representing the host nation of the USA. Now the rider for Denmark, Nikolai Hein-Roos. He actually rides out of Calgary, Alberta, rides for Spruce Meadows, the world-famous facility, Spruce Meadows. Yeah, and this is Isidore Z.
He does, and he's a great guy. He's really got a funny sense of humor.
Great sense of humor.
Last week for the Saturday night class when we had to stop because there was lightning, and even though we're indoors and we warm up indoors, we still have to walk from one indoor to the other. So we had to take a break for 45 minutes because of the lightning. Whoops, a little steering issue there. It's all right. And he said, well, if I get struck by lightning, I'm going to look like barbecued chicken because his legs are so skinny. He's so funny.
So Nikolai Hein-Rus and Crusador Z. This is a Zangashada, 10-year-old gray mare, started by Choco Blue. They, in fact, won the FEI Welcome last night.
They did, that's right.
Impressive time. I think the next closest competitor was 3 or 4 seconds behind.
Davin, that was a really lucky rub. He came down a little early on that back rail and really hit it hard, and it bounced in the cups and stayed up.
Well, it's certainly a great addition to the riding staff at Spruce Meadows to have Nikolai Hein-Rus, as he's clear so far. The push of the Oxer.
Again, cut down a little early, but these rubs could help him. I think, if you can have a little hind rub like that and still keep the jumps up.
This could be our first clear.
Come on, come on, come on.
Oh, nicely
Very well done.
Clear round. Nikolai Hein-Rus rides the horse owned by Spruce Meadows. Crusador Z, the Zangashada, the 10-year-old mare, going clear. He's going to break the tie amongst the 4 falters. Yeah, we do have that first clear under our belts now in our $36,500 Grand Prix qualifier. What a beautiful ride here to the last fence.
Yeah, that's spectacular. And he did finish in the quickest time. Not that matters now that he's clear, but he still would have gone into the lead with that time of 69.86, being faster than all the others.
And you can see Nikolai Hein-Rus certainly happy with that beautiful 10-year-old mare owned by Spruce Meadows. So he moves on to first place. Kerry Roofer into second. Andrew Jane in third. Rich Fellers now in fourth. That breaks the 4 falters, that tie. That's how they're coming out so far. Sal the Tone, Guy Thomas, rides internationally for New Zealand. In fact, he lives in Northern California. Brand new dad as well.
That's right. He has a brand new baby.
And Guy Thomas aboard the Zangashada Stallion, Jonquier Z, or sired by Jet Set D.
And he opted to come off the left lead to number 1. Yeah, and he got 7 strides where everyone else got 8 into the double there. But this horse has an abnormally large stride, so he will usually leave a step out where others won't.
Yeah, I was talking to Guy numerous times throughout the 2019 season on the outdoor courses, and it's amazing how much ground this horse can eat up.
Right. I mean, he just did 7 strides there, quietly and steadying. But he needs to do that, otherwise he'd never make the time allowed. And the 3 will get a little short for him. Well done.
It's kind of neat how he did that, because he jumped in and kind of made a little bit of a bend to
give himself a little more space, yeah. And they gave him lots of room off the ground there. He's jumping very well. I don't want to jinx anything, so let's fit that in.
Go through the A. There's the B.
Come on, Johnny. Oh, that was an excellent ride.
Okay, he's got 2 more efforts.
He's a little slow. I'm a little nervous.
Okay, time allowed 74 seconds.
I think he'll be all right. Come on.
He's hitting
come
70.
on, come
right
on.
there, come on.
And he does it. He does it.
72, 62.
All right.
This is awesome. We're going to have a jump off. And right now it's going to be Denmark and New Zealand.
All right. Well, I think Johnny jumped amazing.
Yes.
17 years old, this horse. And he looks better than ever.
He looks absolutely amazing. You see the muscle on this beautiful stallion here coming down the last fence. And Guy Thomas doesn't, I mean, he's so calm and collected.
Well, and he was supposed to go to the WEG, but the horse had colic surgery right before.
No.
So this year is him coming back from having had colic surgery.
Wow.
Yeah, and you'd think at that age it wouldn't be so easy to do, but he looks better than ever.
I wish I looked that good.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe we need colic surgery.
Viggo Bjorklund. Here's the rider for Sweden, Carlson, an 11-year-old gelding, Hanoverian, or sired by Contendro 1. So we have those 2 clears, back-to-back clears. We know this course can be mastered. Now, does that take any pressure off when you see back-to-back clears and you're like, okay, it's not that difficult, or you still are putting pressure on yourself?
Well, I think you put pressure on yourself always, but most of these riders that we're seeing here tonight are seasoned professional riders. So I think that they not only handle pressure well, but they love the pressure. We're all adrenaline junkies, so we enjoy that part of it.
Well, so far, so good for this young rider for Sweden, Viggo Bjorklund.
Yeah, he rides very well.
Now, when you walk the course, you have that opportunity to walk in the course. Do the tests start to build as the course gets
Things just
further
come
along?
up very quickly. You know, it's meant to be. That's part of being in a small indoor venue. Not every horse is suited for a small indoor venue, but yes, it's. I think it makes things more difficult when you don't have a lot of time
Okay,
in
so
between the jumps.
Carlson,
Ooh.
Viggo Bjorklund.
Got another clear, Davin.
Well,
And these are all fast riders, so this is going to be incredible.
we're going to have a fast jump off.
That was quite beautiful. So it's 3 in a row.
Separate nations, 3 clears in a row: Denmark, New Zealand, and Sweden.
Well, that was very, very smooth.
That was a great ride through that triple combination. Mentioned a young rider here as well, but he's got a lot of talent. Rides extremely well.
Yeah, and a very nice guy, it seems, as well. He had to struggle a little to fit that step in at the end, but he didn't give up.
What a great ride. Okay, so Konahito is the next horse, a 17-year-old Gray Gelding, a Holsteiner. And Konahito, ridden and owned by Carol Wright. Well, Guy Thomas has won on the jump off. We mentioned he has a young baby right now.
An infant.
An infant.
That's what they're called, Davin. They're called
this
infants.
This would be the infant's grandmother.
That's correct. So, Carol is a brand new grandmother. So this is what's so fun about our sport. We've got an 18-year-old in the class, we've got all ages, and we've got grandmothers and grandfathers also all competing against one another. And, one doesn't necessarily have an advantage over the other. Obviously, the horse gives you an advantage. The better the horse, the better chance you've got. But over time, you develop more skill. So a lot of times our old fogey riders are the ones who are the most skilled because they've got the most experience.
So nicely done so far. Fence number 1, 2 behind them. Here's the first of the 2 combinations, Carol Wright and Konahito.
They're probably not going to like that I didn't mean that Carol or Rich are old fogies by any means, because you get them in a jump off and you'd better watch out.
Yeah, no, exactly.
No, he's jumping really well.
It's Carol not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, won a nice large Grand Prix up here in Northern California.
She did in Sonoma, yep. A little rub there. And Carol rarely makes a mistake. I mean, she really is very, very skilled. And the more I watch that line into the combination, the more I think that you really can't even have a number in mind. It just depends on where your horse lands. You really need to just trust your eye. A little cross canter there. She could be clear too, Davin. Wouldn't that be fun?
This would be an awesome... Oh.
Come on. Oh! That's too bad.
That final fence down, Carol Wright and Konahito. Oh, such a beautiful ride. I was thinking as she's coming down and going on course, and Carol Wright, just like yourself, just like every other rider out there, I mean, she was riding. She was showing hunters today. She was showing horses all throughout the day.
Yeah, she's a professional rider. She rides all day. That's really a shame.
That is just too bad. Well, let's stay with the host nation for the USA. Aaron Davis Heineken aboard Leone, the 10-year-old mare. And this horse hired by Leo von Feltz. This horse owned by October Hill Hunters and Jumpers of Dallas, Texas.
Some exciting news on her end, because they are going to be on her... I don't know, is it her property that they're having the horse show? Because they got a World Cup qualifier in this season, I think. So in 2020, next year they are going to have one in Texas, and she's involved in that management as well. So that's a big thing for Texas, and they're very exciting.
That's super, super exciting.
I've always loved this horse, and it suits her well. This is looking uncomplicated. Such a scopy horse. I mean, really makes this look like
Easily
sorry.
number 9. I mean, this is,
she's a mare, but she's such a strong horse that sometimes I forget that it's a mare. But
well, and
beautiful.
Aaron's had such great success with this beautiful mare, and I'm crossing my fingers. I don't want to say anything until after the last fence, but could be the first clear for the U.S.
Ooh, look how high she jumped out. That was impressive.
Clear round, 73.04 seconds. USA has won in the jump off. This is going to be a great jump off. 4 nations represented: Denmark, New Zealand, Sweden, and now the USA with Aaron Davis Heineking and Leone. And I mean, you're right, that mare just exploded over that last
the last jump was just, and she does have a big stride. You can see how far she went out with her track to make sure that she fit the 8 strides in, because this horse covers so much ground. It was really beautifully ridden.
Oh,
that was spectacular.
Mile over top of that. That's got to be the best feeling on the planet.
Indeed, yes. She looks very happy.
Well, Fessibel, and that is our next horse, a 9-year-old mare, Royal Dutch Warm Blood, signed by Carambola. Carl Cook for the USA, aboard the horse owned by Signe Ostaby for Redwood City.
9 years old, a little on the young side. I mean, there's a couple of 8-year-olds we have this evening, and this one is being 9 years old, is still on the young side for this level.
And Carl's got a ton of experience and trains with Eric Neve, so it's also you have all that experience.
Right,
together,
right,
really
and
helps.
he did very well at the Split Rock show in Sonoma, in Northern California a few weeks ago, winning both of the big classes there. And then had a little bit of bad luck last week when we were here, but I think he's looking on target tonight. Got the 3 done a little bit late there, but
watching Carl go, it's very, very interesting, because some riders look like they want to control the strides and everything like that, and Carl kind of allows his hand to move forward a little bit more.
Yeah, he allows the horse to be what it is, and he got a very hard rub there at B, but he was lucky enough to get that stay up, and he needs a little luck this week because he didn't get any last week, so he deserves some this week. Wow. Wow. I honestly did not think that jump was going to stay up. I thought she was going to have that back rail down.
68.64 seconds. Leslie Bell, what a great horse there. What a great rider as well. Carl Cook for the USA. Well, now we have 5 clears. So 5 to come back for the jump off. We're going to have a look at that last fence right now as he's coming down to fence number 12.
Yeah, because she jumps up so high around the front rail and just barely crossed the back one. Oh, but boy, she held her hind end up so high there, and he really allowed her to do that.
She absolutely knew where all of her landing gear was at that point.
Yep.
That's a great horse. Well, Angel Caroli for Venezuela. Rides the horse owned by Joan Hope. And this is Cooper, 12-year-old gelding, Royal Dutch Warm Blood. Or signed by Viento Uno W.
Some people call him Angel, some people call him Angel.
I knew him when he was actually a junior rider.
I remember that. Because he's not very old now.
No. And Angel and his brother Alejandro both met them at Spruce Meadows, in fact. And it's great to see that they've transitioned from juniors both into top professional riders.
Well, and it's nice to have him in California. He's a nice guy. He's very popular.
Well, he's always got a smile on his face, which is perfect. He's always happy to see everybody.
I think he's got reason to have a smile on his face all the time. He does pretty well.
That does help, doesn't it? Ooh, a little rub there.
Little rub there, but not a big deal. And this horse has a little bit of an unorthodox style.
Now, for some, shoot,
kind of jumped at. He sort of got a little aggressive off the ground there.
I was gonna say it's this gelding looks like kind of picking up a head of steam as the course gets
Yeah,
on.
it looks like a bit of a strong horse, a little bit deep there, but it's going to jump out well, and then plenty of scope coming out.
Wow.
Jump the combination really well.
That's super amounts of power, super amounts of scope. That was just too bad. And fence number 7.
He's got great balance as a rider. He can help a horse in the air, whereas a lot of other people can't do that.
And if you look at that, 74.29 seconds.
I thought he felt a little
the rail
slow.
Down +1 time fault. So that'll be a total of 5 faults, and that's going to put them in a 10th place for Angel Guillermo Caroli. So here he comes down to that last fence. Nice ride to fence number 11. And this horse just looks nice and powerful.
Yeah, I think he felt like he needed. He certainly knows how to make the time allowed, and I don't think, he knew he'd had to jump down, and he wanted to take his time and make sure he didn't have another jump down.
Because not only are they focusing on tonight, they're focusing on Saturday night as well.
Right, yeah, so it's best, if you've got one jump down, you certainly don't want to risk having a second one down, because you want to be able to make the cut to be able to go Saturday night. And some of these horses aren't planning on going Saturday night. For them, sometimes, there's some horses in this class that the riders may feel like they are not up to jumping the Saturday night qualifier, as that's 1.60 m, as opposed to, that's 2 notches bigger, wider as well on Saturday night.
Yes, because the heights of the fences here, I do believe, are
1.50 m.
Okay, so they're 1.50 m tonight. So yeah, that is a sizable. It's enough of a jump from tonight to Saturday.
Sure.
So Carrie Ann Boyce Lockhart for the
That
Oregon.
came down.
Unfortunately, that came down. Fence number 4, and she is aboard Faro DC. They've had a long partnership.
Right, and she's gotten so much good mileage out of this horse, so I think it's. He doesn't always jump these bigger classes clear, but he always goes, and it has given her an opportunity to ride around these courses. And really, you have to get that experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's true, because unless you're doing it, how do you get the experience?
Right. No matter how much you practice, it's not
Yeah.
the same as being a.
It's like any other sport. If all you do is practice, you have no idea what happens when it comes to
I
game
suppose,
time.
but I can't do any other sport, so I wouldn't
sure
know.
you can.
I'm afraid of the ball.
72.91 seconds, 8 jumping faults for Faro DC and Carrie Ann Boyce Lockhart. That'll be 8 jumping faults just out of our top 12 ribbon placings, as that's going to slip her into 13th place. So right now we still have the 5 clears. Here's Carrie Ann Boyce Lockhart and Faro DC.
Professional rider Carrie Rupert then with her second ride of the evening, the second of 2 that she will be
So
riding.
barely touched fence number 4 there, but unfortunately that's all right. Fence number 4, that vertical down for Carrie Ann Boyce Lockhart and Faro DC.
For Mr. Europe, a 10-year-old gelding, owned by Morningstar Sport Horses.
Unfortunately, fence number 6. The 2 verticals. The auction was fine in the middle, but the vertical coming down for Carrie Ann Boyce Lockhart, Faro DC. Mr. Europe. Gotta love the name, Mr.
I
Europe.
know it. And this is a very good horse, but I know she jumped him a little bit lower last week. She thought he was a little wide-eyed, if you will, under the lights here, and he's looking around. He gets quite distracted in here, so I think she's going to try to give him a nice positive ride, but he's very keen, and she told me he felt a little distracted under the lights, so we'll see how this goes for her.
Well, and Carrie Roofer back. She rides the Horse Home Bay Morningstar Sport Horses. This is her second ride. The first one she had, Georgie Dover EC, as you mentioned, the first fence came down. So right now, she's gotten over that. She fence 1, 2, 3, A, B, clear, comes on to fence number 4. This is a 10-year-old gelding, Royal Dutch Warm Blood, sired by Mr. Blue. I think sometimes when you have like Mr. Europe in your name, I always think of maybe the paparazzi having so maybe the lights were a little distracting.
Well, he looks like he's focusing pretty well tonight. I think he's learned from the last class.
I think that's always interesting when somebody does, because their horse is maybe a little distracted or whatever. They drop them down a little bit and just
Right, and just make it so that it's a little bit easier so that they can learn to deal calmly with the distractions. Well, so far, so good. Keep my fingers crossed for Carrie. Excellent.
Nice
Really, really well done.
Play round,
Okay, she's
Mr.
gotta be thrilled with
Europe
that.
And Carrie Roofer. Well, Okay. We know Carrie Roofer is always lightning fast in the jump off. I think we are in for such a spectacular and
It's
such
going to be a
fast
fabulous jump off for sure. And we have a lot of horses yet to go. So we've seen 15 horses and we've got 6 clear.
Okay, so here is Carrie Roofer. Yeah, Mr. Europe up and over that final fence. Not even a problem there. So certainly no distractions for Carrie Roofer. That $1 million smile she has right there. Certainly happy with her second ride. She's always happy with every one of her horses no matter what.
She's in general a pretty happy-go-lucky kind of person, so I like to see her do well.
And Emma Catherine Raquel aboard Apex. And a young rider here as well. Emma Catherine just stepping up to this level. I think this is her second year possibly at this level.
And this has been such a great learning experience for her. And she just won the Talent Search Medal Finals a week or two ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So
Down
that's
in
always a
San
huge
Luis Obispo.
accomplishment.
Yes. And this is a 15-year-old gelding. Oh, unfortunately, the A element coming in 3A down for Emma this early stage. Okay, so over fence number 6, nicely done. Still carrying the 4 faults to this point in time. And fence number 7 and fence number 8. This horse has a lot of talent. This
Well, and he's very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
A little deep there. But he helps when he needs to help. It's really a wonderful horse to learn on. Fell into her right leg a little bit there, and not too many people have had trouble with that skinny, but it's a nice skinny. It's not super skinny. At least it doesn't feel that way from up here.
Well, you know what? She's got to be happy with that. I mean, just fence number 3A. So Emma Catherine Racco and Apex with 4 faults, 70.70 seconds. Gets them on the leaderboard. Second fastest of the 4 faulters, puts them in 8th place. So after fence number 2, this is where she has that rail just coming into that first combination.
I think
So
he just
it looked like
maybe
he's cross-cantering a little bit.
Yeah, he just cut down a little bit, and I think he didn't quite get there straight, and then he realized he had to straighten out to B, and maybe just forgot his hind end a little bit, but not a big deal at all.
Our next horse, an 11-year-old stallion, Lafino. Katie Harris, the rider and owner from Milton, California, rides the Zangashada.
And this is always a nice horse to watch. He's very scopy. He's got a huge stride. And she has a great relationship with him.
I love watching this horse go around and Katie ride this horse because he's got the pokey nose.
He does the pokey nose, yeah. And so much white.
And so much white, and he's kind of like, okay, just let me do my job. You steer, and I'll get me to the distances, and I'll jump them.
Yeah. So there's the 8 for her. Look how high he jumps. Such a cool horse. And then I think she was planning on doing 8 strides here, but we'll see. Or sorry, she was planning on doing the 5 and then the 7 because he's got such a big step.
Yeah, it's kind of like Guy Thomas's horse.
Yeah.
And this horse has...
Yeah, the 7 got steady for her too.
This horse has a fantastic hind end. I love his hind end. It just floats.
We did that very well.
Now, is it a little bit harder to ride a horse that, like this, where the nose is a little bit more strung out? I get not really strung out, but I mean that's kind of what it looks like.
Well, it doesn't seem to be a problem for her, and he's gotten quicker too. You know, he's gotten better over the last year. I think she's a little slow. I think she's going to have to work a little bit to make this time allowed.
Okay, 74 seconds time allowed. Keep that in mind.
Come on! Oh! Yeah, I think that might have been a swear word we just saw her mouth. But that's the thing, and he is a little hard to make the time allowed because he is big and lopey, but she'll be thrilled with that. I mean, he really jumped well, and he'll for sure go Saturday night.
That is too bad.
But she did feel a little slow, and maybe she could have even done one less here to the last jump, but that would have had to have been planned earlier, but he spends so much time in the air there too, huh?
He is such a cool horse.
So close.
74.40 seconds. So 0.4 of a second over that time allowed, the one-time fault on the leaderboard in 7th place, but you knew Katie's expression.
I don't think he even rubbed a jump.
No. And Mathias Venker, this rider for Germany, and he rides for NKH LLC of Dallas, Texas, aboard NKH Corrido, a 9-year-old stallion, a Dutch warm blood. Started by Carico. Now this is interesting because Mathias rides previously Aaron Davis Heineken, married to Christian Heineken, German rider. This rider from Germany also rides with them some of their horses. And if you're Christian, you go, okay, I do well, but I'm on my wife's side, or you're
Well, I mean, it is a team, and then of course, as a team, you compete against each other too sometimes, and they all ride very well. So, but it is, whoever can pull it off that particular night is the one that should win. So, and they hired him when Christian got very badly hurt. And Christian's still just now coming back to these bigger classes. I mean, he's doing well, but he broke his leg very badly, so had a long rehab.
And it wasn't just the lower leg; it was his.
Yeah, I think he broke the pelvis and the hip, or the hip, or the the femur up into the hip. So that's a a major injury.
And he from when I talked to him, it's great to see Christian back riding, and he's riding at a top level now as well. But his doctors didn't even think he'd be able to walk again.
Right. And so, riders they persevere and they want to get back in the tack. So, wow,
nice
this
ride.
horse is really jumping. He feels too slow also to me, though. I mean, when you come around this corner at 66, then you're going to have to do something to make up the time allowed. So he's going to be over.
He's going to be over. But I think oh, wow. What a great jump there. 75.32 seconds, one time fault. That puts Germany into 8th place.
And again, we're operating on our international rules, so you have one time fault per every 4 seconds over the time allowed. So, sometimes it's when you're dealing with national rules, it's one time fault per second. So you can be a little slow or a little slower and still only have one time fault, but really beautifully ridden.
Still think they're going to be super happy with that. That horse, wow, what a nice 9-year-old stallion there, owned by NKH LLC of Dallas, Texas. Well, Ali Leopold Moreno back in the ring. Elise de Beaubourg, an 11-year-old Grey Gelding, Sol Francais, sired by Dollar Murier.
She came off the right lead to number 1. And Allie's definitely she's gotten a lot of great experience in the last couple of years, starting to jump these bigger classes and learning how to make the time allowed and ride aggressively and forward. So,
well, she just had the 2 rails down on her first horse, Valentino du Soleil.
So there she accidentally, I think, did 9 strides there, unless I counted incorrectly, which is always a possibility. Lucky rub there. Oh, and another lucky rub. She got down that 3 stride a little bit too easily. Now she can. That's all right. Okay. Now she needs to make up a little bit of time here. Oh, got a little crooked there. Yeah, she didn't quite straighten him out going to the combination.
Now, you mentioned from fence number 9 to that triple combination. Yes, there was a stride that you walked, but it's more or less better to figure out where your horse is, really, where they are. Right.
And I think she'll be happy with that. I mean, he jumped well, she rode well, made the time allowed. She's making progress, and she looks very happy with that. And I think she should be. That's very respectable.
Yeah. 4 jumping faults, just into that triple combination B element. She certainly is happy with that. Okay, so after fence number 9.
I think, they think about the outgate right there, and I think he got his eye on the wrong jump for just a second. Yeah, so he was a little surprised by that.
Yeah, you can see exactly.
Yeah, and there was a little curve in it, so she tried to straighten him out, and she just didn't quite have his attention focused on the combination early enough, and that's what happened there, because I do think she was going to have a clear round.
Well, unfortunately, 4 faults through that triple, 71.74 seconds. puts them into 11th place.
And here's our birthday boy again.
Birthday boy back in the ring, Rich Fellers. This horse owned by Kimberly Bruce. An 11-year-old gelding. Started by Nintender is Ninu. So right now, still the 6 clears. Rich's second ride. Oh.
Oh, man. What a birthday. That's not a good birthday,
That's
Davin.
not a good
It's just
birthday.
not.
Especially always a tough way to start when that first fence is down.
Well, it's like I said, I mean, I don't know which horses he was planning on doing Saturday night, but if he can, I think there's been quite a lot of 8 falters. For certainly 4 falters will get in and possibly 8 falters as well. But
So Saturday it's 1 horse. I believe it is 1 horse.
Correct.
I think
yeah.
you're right on that.
Yeah.
So for somebody like Rich Fellers, where he has 2 in this, or Kerry has 2 in this, for those riders, are you kind of feeling tonight and saying, okay, this one felt a little bit more comfortable in here than the other one, or jumped better than, and you take that one?
I believe you have to designate.
Oh.
I believe you do.
Actually,
But
I think you might be right.
I think they've changed that a little bit. So I think, yeah, it used to be that you could choose which horse you wanted to do on Saturday night. And I may be incorrect because it's been a number of years since I've been doing these World Cup classes, but I believe you have to designate which horse you want as your horse to qualify for Saturday night. But I could be mistaken. And please, if anybody knows better than I do, let me know.
Well, 73.68 seconds, 8 jumping falls for Rich Fellers and Ninu. And right now, they will not change our top placings. Right now, as that's going to put them into 20th. 6 clears. So we're seeing Rich Fellers and Ninu. And that first fence just didn't get the landing gear out of the way quite fast enough. Just based off of what it looked like at fence number 1.
Yeah, so that's a bit of a shame. So we're going to take our midway break and do a little arena maintenance and come back for the second half of the first round.
Yeah, so we'll see you in just
right,
a little bit.
See you in a minute.
We see the jump crew just breaking things down, and we'll get that second half of the $36,500 Grand Prix qualifier in just a second.
The official watch here for Sacramento International Horse Show, the Conquest Classic Collection, elevated the swing, the latest range, the resolutely feminine, and always contemporary. Longines.
spectators, you can come back in.
Well, here we are, ready to start the second half of our $36,500 Grand Prix qualifier. And so far in the first half, 6 clears.
Right, so if you're just joining us, getting in a little late from wherever you were, we've got 6 clear. We've got Crusader and Nikolai Heinroos. We've got John Kersee and Guy Thomas, Carlson and Viggo Borklund, Leone and Aaron Davis Heineking, Fessibel and Carl Cook, Mr. Europe and Kerry Roofer. So it's going to be a really fast jump off. You better stick around for the fun.
Well, and so far in 7th and 8th, we do have the one-time falters. Katie Harris sitting in 7th, and Matthias Svenker in 8th place. Kerry Roofer, her first ride, in 9th right now with the 4 faults. And Marachau in 10th. Leopold Moreno in 11th, and Andrew Jane, just stepping up this level, he is in 12th spot with 4 faults, 72.39 seconds. Well, and we did talk about some of these riders that were in here having, like Carol Wright, having won some Grand Prix just in the past couple of weeks.
Right.
And I never got the chance to congratulate you because you.
Thank you,
won a Grand Prix
Davin.
a couple weeks ago
I
as well.
did. I was very excited. My 8-year-old won his first $50,000 Grand Prix in Sonoma, and it was very exciting for all of us.
And that young horse's name is Lauren C.
It is, and he's hopefully will be doing this meter 50 class next year.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Right, but I'm doing right this year. I'm sticking a little bit. I mean, it was a meter 50 class that he won, but I'm sticking with meter 45 at this horse show because in this indoor environment, I feel like it rides bigger than it actually is. So I'll be showing tomorrow night.
Yes, I was going to say that. I believe we're going to see you with the action tomorrow night. That'll be awesome. Well, Katinka is our next horse, a 10-year-old mare. This rider rides out of Calgary, Alberta, rides for Canada. Vanessa Mannix, the rider and owner of the Oldenburg, started by Katoki.
This is a very nice combination to watch. She knows this horse really well, it seems, and they get along well. It's very smooth. It jumped very easily the other night.
And I remember watching Vanessa Mannix come up through the junior ranks in Canada, and it's great to see her all the way up to and continuing to ride well, as she always does. Super talented rider from Canada. Because it'd be nice to actually have a Canadian rider in that jump off as well.
Right, because we've got a bunch of other nations, don't we?
We do. We have Denmark, New Zealand, Sweden, and of course 3 riders for the USA. Nicely through that combination for Vanessa Mannix and Katinka.
Yeah, this horse has a very, very easy jumping style. Look, just loped up that 5, even though it walks quite long away from the gate.
It's always one of those interesting things, and I'm not sure how. When I see this horse's name and I say it, Katinka, I always think it's maybe some James Bond character.
That would be a good name for a Bond girl.
A Bond girl, yeah.
I don't know if they call them Bond girls anymore. I think it's like a Bond person or something now, gender equality and all of that.
True. So we're coming to that triple combination. Nice solid ride in.
That was spectacular.
Beautiful.
She sat so still in there and just let the horse do the work.
This horse has a fantastic front end.
Yeah, it's a really fancy little horse. I don't know if it's small, but you couldn't have jumped much better than that, huh? Just under the time allowed. Wow.
73.70. Uses up most of that time allowed of 74 seconds. But a clear round. Well, we were hoping for Canada to get one in the jump off just like that easily. Vanessa Mannix from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. There's fence number 11. We're watching her and Katinka.
Yeah, she rides really well.
And just such a beautiful step all the way down to that last oxer.
Spectacular. A little collapse on the landing side there.
I mean, that mare looks like she jumps hard, like a little bit harder.
Absolutely. Speaking of Bond girls, here we have one right here.
We do have Ashley Bond. Rides for Israel. This horse owned by Little Valley Farms. And Donatella, a 8-year-old gelding, a Westphalian.
So this is one of the younger horses in the class tonight.
But Ashley has so much experience that
she does, and she can give a young horse experience herself because, she'll make sure that she gives him a very positive ride. Jumped that very easily. I know she's quite excited about this horse.
I think she has good reason to have a lot of excitement with this horse. This is a fantastic horse.
Okay, and she added a step there. She did a quiet 6. But she can do that. I mean, she knows this horse jumps better maybe off of a bouncier step. She's so quick across the ground in the corners that she doesn't usually need to worry about having time faults.
Oh.
Her reaction was so quick there. She knew the horse cut down early and landed a little shallow, and that was going to make the 3 ride not as short as she maybe had thought it would. So she reacted so quickly to give the horse a positive ride coming out.
With this triple combination, A, B is good. Beautiful. Oh.
Yeah, he's just not quite crossing the oxers the way he will as he becomes a little older and more experienced.
Because once again, as mentioned, a young horse, 8 years of age, beautiful ride over that final
Yeah,
fence.
there she go. And that, case in point, she went to her stick to the last jump just to give the horse encouragement to cross that back oxer so that he finished on a good note, feeling like he would learn to cross the oxers the next time she comes out.
Well, and as you mentioned, she's always so efficient. Look at that time, 69.98 seconds. You see that, that first rail come down for Ashley Bond and Donatello. Donatello, that super horse owned by Little Valley Farms. That horse has quite the career ahead of that beautiful 8-year-old gelding. Well, we go from Israel all the way down to Brazil. Cassio Ravetti and Don Vito.
And this is a lovely horse. It's a new ride for him. He's already won a class with this horse recently, and it is really a good match.
And Don Vito, owned by Poden Farms, Royal Dutch Warm Blood, or signed by Caprice Z. Yeah, this is an 11-year-old chestnut gelding. Now, I know that, and I don't want to use the term stigma, but with chestnut mares, they can be a little bit spicy. This is a chestnut gelding. Does that still apply for them, or
not so much?
Not
they
so
don't
much?
usually have the same connotation to go along with it. It's I think that there's a bit of a stigma with chestnut mares being a little bit difficult, but it doesn't really carry over.
If I remember, you actually do like chestnut
I
mares.
love chestnut mares because I've got a good one.
And Cassio Ravetti, he already has.
Ooh, wow. I'm not sure how he got away with that.
A little bit of a stretch for that oxer.
Yeah,
Fence
I
number
mean,
5.
I think the horse looked down at the Liverpool, and I think he didn't really realize that was maybe going to happen until the very last minute. But saved it.
Well, and Cassio's had a number of Grand Prix victories this year alone in 2019. And he's a phenomenal rider.
And he's very experienced. So, again, reflex matters. Reflexes are, they're important. And when you've got a lot of experience, he felt the horse looking down at that and just reacted so quickly that he saved it.
Nice push over that oxer to get out through the triple combination. 2 efforts remaining. We may have Brazil in the jump off. Don't want to speak too soon.
He's definitely going to be under the time allowed. Oh, the horse thought he was done there. Again, that was good riding on Cassio's part for sure, because the horse, I think, thought he was finished right before the last jump, and Cassio had to say, hey, we're not done.
Well, so 2 times on course, Cassio Ravetti's had to react so quickly, and his quick cat-like reactions means that we have Brazil in the jump-off. Here's this triple combination. There's the B. He pushes just a smidge to get over and across.
Yeah, that was
oxer.
lovely. He was just under the time allowed at 73.80, but I think that's also in part because the horse a couple times thought he was finished. A little bit here, and definitely on the way to the last jump, he sort of eased off the gas pedal, and the horse just kind of like, I'm done. And then he had to re-ride, so.
What a beautiful ride. Cassio Ravetti and Don Vito. And representing Israel, Terry Gordon Solanke, aboard the horse owned by Tomboy Farms, Azuro, a 13-year-old gelding. This horse is a Westphalian, signed by Arpeggio.
And one of my favorite horses. It's such a great horse for her. She rides for Israel now. How many nations do we have represented here tonight, Davin?
I actually did not do the number on that, but I'll get back to you.
He looks like he's jumping super tonight. She rode that off her eye in the 9, but this horse has no problem getting out in the double there. Nice and straight there, and he's got a big stride and just eats up that 5-stride line. I just think this horse is just he's always consistent. He's always straightforward. Measures well. She's a little quiet, maybe. I think she's going to be slow.
This horse has a huge, huge jump.
Yeah, she's got a lot of time to make up Davin. She's very slow. So she won't make the time allowed, especially having a quiet distance here.
Well, one of the 11 nations represented tonight.
11 nations
11
we have.
nations. This rider for Israel, Sarah Gordon-Solonkin and Azuro. They're going to pick up one time fault on the clock, 77.71 seconds. That was their time.
I think she'll be happy with that still. I mean, I think this is a difficult enough course that she will be very happy. He couldn't have jumped any better. As far as he knows, he thinks he had a clear round. And he did with just one time fault.
That was a beautiful, beautiful round.
And so that is our third with time faults, correct? Yep,
Yes, the
third horse
with
with time faults.
And she's the slowest of the one-time faulters. That's going to put her into 11th right now. But you can see that smile on her face. She's happy with that because the horse, did not even touch a single fence.
No, he's lovely.
Well, that puts Sarah Gordon-Solonkin and Azuro into 11th place. The fastest of the four faulters, Carrie Rufer and Georgie Dovry EC, now in 12th. And 4 faults on a time of 70.48 seconds. That could be a precarious position to be in as a number of great horse rider combinations remaining. And a 12-year-old mare up next, Cassandra, Royal Dutch Warmblood, and the rider, Nick Delajoyo.
I know this horse has a big stride. It goes in a nice full cheek snaffle there. I've gotten to know Nick a bit in these last couple of weeks. Really nice guy.
And he comes from a famous riding family.
Yep. His father's very famous, Norman Delajoyo, and doesn't get much more famous than that. So he's had the best training throughout his career. He's 30 years old. And I hope he's enjoying his time out here in California. I think it's the first time that I've seen him out here coming to do these classes, hoping to qualify and represent the U.S. at the World Cup final. Oh, she's jumping very nicely. So he knows that this horse can eat that 5 up easily. And there's the 7. Oh, yeah, she lost her shape a little bit there, Davin, and she just cut down behind. She didn't really have her arc right in the right place, but look, her response there was quite good. A little bit of behind rub there.
So, unfortunately, 4 faults so far for Nick Delajoyo and Cassandra. Fence number 6 comes into that triple combination. Oh, unfortunately, B comes down. And you can see from Nick, he is a superb rider.
Yeah, he's very professional, I feel. I mean, he doesn't really get rattled. He stays cool and under the time allowed, so he'll finish with 8.
It was 71.64 seconds, 8 jumping faults with 2 fences down, fence number 6, and in that triple combination. So that'll be 8 faults, and they will not change our top placings. Yeah, Nick Delajoyo, in fact, he will be the last one to join us here in round number 1. So he's got another shot at this, at getting one in the jump-off. As we see with the riders for the USA, Zazu Hoffman, a source owned by Woodacre Stables, Samson 2. And this is a Swedish Warmblood, started by Cardento, a 15-year-old gelding.
We have a lot of older horses in this class this evening, which is always nice to see. Zazu rides very consistently and has done very well this year, winning quite a few very big classes.
And she's she's a super professional rider. Always gives her horses just such a nice ride.
She's also someone who I think keeps her cool. She doesn't seem to get nervous. Which is important, I think. Even if you do get nervous, you've got to be able to control that, because otherwise, the horses get a little nervous because of it too. They can feel that in your body. And that was well done.
There's the 3-stride. Beautifully done. Coming on the fence, number 9. Just heading towards that in-gate.
Oh, a little playfulness there. Now she's going to be a little wide with her track because of that. So she's going to have to make up for that time-wise. Certainly jumped that well. But she knows it, so she knows she can't dilly-dally too much here.
Okay, so she just has one left. Time looks like it's going to be good.
Yeah, she'll be all right. Well done, Zazu.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So clear round 72.57 seconds. Samson 2, Zazu Hoffman. They're going to be coming back for the jump off, as they will be the 9th back for the jump off.
All right, 9 clear.
And great job through this triple combination.
Yeah,
As you
she
mentioned,
just
swung a little
rode that
wide,
spectacularly.
She got her horse back and focused.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about
Now, could the in-gate have caused a little bit of a problem there? Not a problem, but it is a distraction as they come around to get back to that triple combination.
Well, and some horses, they all drift toward the outgate because they're herd bound. So they all drift toward the other horses. But, so that's why I think you can't get too stuck on a number from that jump to the combination, because if they carry you out toward that gate, then you just know that you're going to have to add a stride or two. And she allowed the horse to play a little bit and then got him right back in line again. She didn't argue with him much.
So Choco P just moving up just a smidge in the order. And, well, the Olympic gold medalist, Will Simpson.
And Will is a newlywed.
He is
He got married last weekend, I believe,
Yes.
or the week before. I think it's been 2 weeks now, maybe. 10 days probably.
Yes.
Got married.
Oh, and a very unique approach to fence number 1. He cut in between.
He didn't want to give his horse much of a chance to look at it.
No. And I've watched Will with this horse, Choco P, throughout this year, and he does give this horse a little bit of a shorter approach to that first
Right.
fence.
I think he gets kind of wild on the way to the jumps, I think. So I think he doesn't want him to have too much of a chance to argue. And there's the 7 strides.
And so this is a 10-year-old Mecklenburg.
Rub there.
This gelding started by Choco Blue. This horse owned by Will Simpson Stables on 1,000 Oaks.
Gave him a lot of space there.
So is it a little bit more difficult, especially coming into these combinations, the triple combination, riding a horse that's a little bit more enthusiastic like this?
It can be, but for Will, I think he likes that type. He'd rather have a horse that has a lot of blood like that. That's a little wild. It's just suits his ride. And that was certainly well done.
Looks like
he
it suits
deserved
it
that.
perfectly.
That's a good wedding present.
72.26 seconds. That is a nice wedding present as well. Will Simpson clear aboard Choco P. The time 72.26 seconds. Well, now we go into double digits, 10 to come back for the jump off.
And he did move up in the order, so we'll see. We are now technically on the 28th horse in the order, but we've seen 27.
And just a great ride. Will Simpson aboard Choco P. And riding for the USA, Mandy Porter. There she is. This rider out of Encinitas, California, professional rider. Rides the horse owned by Wild Turkey Farm, W.T. Kapow, a 10-year-old gelding. This horse sired by Chesapeake.
All right, so Mandy's going to come off the right lead, and this horse is moving up this year and been doing quite well. He's getting more confidence, a lot of mileage with Mandy in the tack.
Well, Mandy certainly has quite the resume. She's represented the United States at the World Cup Finals, won the $1 million Grand Prix in Thermal a couple years back. So Mandy Porter certainly not lacking for talent. She's got a huge amount. And WT Kapow is a super 10-year-old gelding as well.
And this is a U.S. bred horse by Wild Turkey Farm and Barb Ellison.
And that's good to see.
Right, because we don't have a whole lot of that. It's getting more so.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh.
Just got a little bit aggressive at that front rail there.
Well, so unfortunately, fence number 7 down for Mandy Porter and WT Kapow. She carries 4 faults into that triple combination. Nice ride through that triple combination.
Yeah, and he's definitely coming along. I mean, it looks much more confident and sure of himself than he did last year.
Fence number 11 comes down. That'll be an 8-fault performance. The time 71.94 seconds. Little play, WT Kapow, as they cross that finish line. And certainly happy 10-year-old gelding. It's an American-bred horse by Wild Turkey Farm. We're going to see her come into fence number 7. Unfortunately, that was the first of the pararails that she had down.
Yeah, I think that was just him maybe looking at all of the other stuff and didn't quite pay enough attention to the front rail.
Because it's an indoor arena, so there is a lot, as you can. There's a lot of things to look at.
Right, it's very distracting, and but it's good to get in here and jump under the lights.
Well, Carl Cook back in the ring. He already has qualified Visibel for the jump off, and he's aboard Caillou, a 12-year-old gray gelding, horse owned by Signe Osteby. There's the Holsteiner. It's horse hired by Casal. So Carl Cook, he has already perfected this course once. He knows exactly how it rides. I got to say, I think this horse is fantastic as well.
It is, and this one has a little bit of a shift to the side in front of the jumps, and Carl just handles that.
There's that Liverpool, fence number 5.
Jumped that very well.
So I'm kind of thinking with the ride on this horse, you could not be one of those. You couldn't micromanage or be that person that has to have control.
I don't know.
All the time.
I mean, Carl gets along with this horse very well. He lets the shift happen. He doesn't let it bother him.
And that's what I mean. You kind of have to be like, okay, I'm not going to control every step. It's just, no, you're there. You shift a little bit. It's not a big deal.
And this horse has a big stride and is very fast in the jump off. So he's looking like he's going to join our group. Yep, no problem at all.
And look at that time, 69.64 seconds. So he is clear as well, and a super fast time. In fact, the second fastest time. Well, Carl has 2 of the fastest times in that first round, 68.64 on his first, or 69.64. Just 1 second difference between his first horse and his second horse.
Well, that was pretty impressive.
And this is an impressive final fence. Just such a lovely ride. We're riding for Elizabeth Killam. Here's the rider for Ireland, Robert Blanchette, and he is aboard the 10-year-old gelding Magic Mike, Royal Dutch Warm Blood.
And this is probably the biggest class that Robert has jumped for a while now, because he also had a very bad injury. I think it's been more than a year. 14 months he didn't ride at all, so he was also even having to contemplate a prosthetic leg. That's how bad it was. But, again, athletes don't give up, and he tried really hard. I don't even see him limping now. I mean, no. I think he's even started to be able to jog a little bit on the treadmill. So very impressive, and it's hard to come back after that kind of an injury, but he doesn't look like he's missed much.
And as well, talking about riders that have infants.
Twins, they've got baby twins.
Baby twins, which I think are coming up to around 1 year of their first birthday.
Yeah, well, I think when he got hurt, she was quite pregnant, so that was a really stressful time for their family for sure.
Because unfortunately, he broke his leg, and it was last August in 2018, and it was numerous surgeries to get him back. But it is so good to see him back at this level.
Come on.
Oh. Okay, so 4 faults right now. It's going to put him out of the top 12 ribbon placings, but a great ride.
That was very well done. I mean, I think he's probably very happy to even be able to be back in the ring. So
71.57 seconds, and just doing that, and you saw him give his horse a kiss at the end. That was just perfect. Robert Blanchette, great ride aboard Magic Mike. We're just going to watch him come into that triple combination. B element, that was the culprit there. And just barely touched the B element, but unfortunately, gravity takes over, and that rail came down.
Quite respectable, though, I think.
Also, Katie Harris sitting in a 12th position. This next rider rides for Mexico, and this is the Olympian Everardo Hegovich. Rides and owns Urcos 4, an 11-year-old chestnut gelding.
He has a great relationship with his horse, and it's been fun to watch.
And Everardo Hegovich and Urcos 4 in the $1 million this year on the winter circuit. They had just one time fault.
In the $1 million class, right? And everyone was so excited. It was really fun.
He had a great season. He spent part of the summer up in Parker, Colorado, at those shows up there, and they were very successful. He's had some great success with this horse.
Oh, good little rub there.
And this is one of those horses that it's got a lot of power.
He has a lot of power, and, you know, he's a bit of a goofball, from what I understand. He's got a funny personality, and he does try to jump clear.
Actually, and when you're mentioning a goofball, because I was talking to Everardo in Colorado this summer, and he said for this horse, because they have a lot of trails, that when he takes the horse, gets on him, oh, that's too bad. And he goes, leaving the barn on the trails, the horse is going 100 miles an hour, but he's got to put his leg on to try to come back to the barn.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
He's just having so much fun.
Well, that's too bad. He had two rails down in the combination, but he's under the time. A lot of 8 falters tonight.
That is just some tough luck. Still happy with his horse. And the nice thing, I mean, Everardo he adores this horse, Urcos 4.
I know, it's really nice to see.
So a jumping fault, 71.66 seconds. And we are sitting with 11 clears, ribbon placings to 12. Love to kind of actually have a full house and have all 12 placings determined in that jump-off round. And Kos van Heijsta is the 9-year-old gelding. He rides for Ireland, Connor Swale.
Yeah, and I don't believe in these last few years we've had Connor out here on the West Coast. I mean, I see him in Canada and things, but I really haven't seen him here on the West Coast. But now the way our World Cup qualifiers work is that, you know, you really do have to travel a bit in order to make sure that you do enough qualifiers in order to make the team if you're trying to do that.
Which also, and I think that sometimes it's a nice thing, I can imagine, as a competitor, because then you get to see how different people do different things, compete against different people. If you're always in one spot, it's, I don't know, can that get a little...
Well, it's always good to see different venues. You know, horses need to be in different venues, different environments, different weather even. And most all of these horses are pretty well seasoned because they do travel for a living.
So do they get frequent flyer points?
I wish.
Oh, that'd be...
This horse has a huge stride, and he just walks the lines.
Wow.
And Connor's got incredible balance. You know, he's built properly. I think smaller men do have a bit of an advantage in our sport sometimes because they're strong but still light. That's too bad he had those two down, but I'm sure that he's really gearing up for Saturday night. So
you've mentioned balance a couple times. Why is that so important?
Well, because when horses give you a big effort in the air, I think if you lose your balance on the landing, it makes it very hard to recover quickly enough to negotiate another jump coming up very quickly.
Well, unfortunately, that triple combination, that's been a tough one tonight with 2 fences down for Connor Swale for Ireland. Jumped A beautifully.
I'm thinking that's maybe a little uncharacteristic for this horse, but he really just had both jumps down in front.
Well, it's the 8 faults. That's going to put them out of our top placings. Another rider for Denmark up next. We're watching Connor Swale just finish off fence number 11 there. Kenneth Vinther rides and owns Colicchio, an 11-year-old stallion, a Holsteiner, started by Casal.
Kenneth did well here last year, and then he moved the horse down a little bit at the beginning of this year, I think, and is now moving him back up again. It's an interesting turn.
There was, he did move the horse down. He showed this horse in the on week 8, the $1 million Grand Prix, and then moved him down just a little bit throughout the year, and then he's back up.
Right, and I think sometimes with the younger horse, that's important to do, and just get their confidence back up. Whoop. Yeah, he was a little bit deep there coming into the Oxer. Oh, that's a little bit of a stallion thing there. So
no, our stallions are just a little bit different than.
Well, they can be, yes. They can, they can fight a little bit more. So I think he's going to kind of have another shot at this double. Horse got his eye on the wrong jump there, so that's the same ride in. Yeah, so I think he's probably going to move back down again for a couple of classes.
Well, that is just some tough luck. So Kenneth Vinther and Colicchio, that second refusal just, as you mentioned, got to the same spot. and
Yeah, just a little bit quiet coming in. And I think maybe he just needed to ride in a little bit stronger the first time.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, 2 refusals. That does mean elimination for Kenneth Vinther and Colicchio. Well, we have one rider from Sweden in the jump-off. This next rider also represents Sweden internationally, Hanna Moritzen, source owned by Rich Fuente of Jackson, Wyoming. Parkmore Lux, a 14-year-old gelding. This is an Irish sport horse sired by Lux Z.
Professional runner Hanna Moritzen is with us now. She represents Sweden. And as right here, aboard the 14-year-old Irish sport horse, Parkmore Lux. Parkmore, owned by Rich Fuente, LLC.
Okay, so Hanna Moritzen and Parkmore Lux coming off the right to fence number 1. Now, I do have to ask. Obviously, 6 o'clock start time for the Grand Prix. Hanna Moritzen, Parkmore Lux, they're going an hour and a half after that start time. Are you, as a competitor, are you asking the in-gate person, the starter, what time do you think are going to be going, or do these riders know?
No, in general, you can kind of figure about how long it takes per horse, and that's what we try to estimate. Usually you're figuring a minimum of 2 minutes per horse, and you do the math, which I'm not so good at math, but but yeah, if you're on a big field, sometimes it may take as long as 3 minutes per horse by the time they get going. But in a smaller venue like this, you figure 2.5 minutes from the time the horse walks in the ring to the time it comes out. And I do think, you have to pay attention to that. And then you just have to keep checking in. Oh, didn't quite have enough momentum coming out of the combination there. Oh, the reins got a little bit long there, and her steering. She lost a little power steering on the way to the skinny, it looked like.
Okay, and so we're going to pick up a little bit of time there, 75.80 seconds. Well, 1 time fault, 4 jumping faults. That front rail at the C element coming down. Well, I got to say, that triple combination, it's been interesting. And as you said, there's really no set stride from fence number 9 into that, because you have to take it into the corner to determine.
Right, and it just depends on your horse. There's a lot to look at, and then it's away from the gate. And I think if they, if you ride in, her horse, I don't think she rode in poorly at all. I just think her horse backed away from C for some reason and just left her a little bit long leaving the ground there, so she couldn't quite cross that back rail.
Well, the sound of the tone, Patrick Pellin rides for Brazil. This horse owned by the Equine Platform. Yeah, and a 10-year-old mare, Belgian warm blood, Jamaica van Kadebeek. Another super talented rider for Brazil.
Oh, that's too bad.
So far, we still sit with the 11 clears.
Well, and at this point, when you go this far down in the order and you know how many are clear ahead of you, then it really doesn't do you any good to try to be a fast 4 faulter, So at this point, you're out of the money pretty much for the most part with a jump down, because you've got all the ribbon winners already in place. So it's best just to give your horse a good ride.
Because at this point in time, at these wonderful World Cup events, they have the monitors around, so you can see where people are sitting, how many faults they have.
Well, even if you don't have the monitors, you keep track. You check in with the gate. You kind of hopefully have a team member that can be paying attention to really how the scores are going, so that you know going in what you've got to do, and if you have a jump down, how many are clear. So then you try to be a fast 4 faulter, but in this case, you already know there's enough ribbon winners that have 0 faults or 1 time fault that it doesn't really do you any good to try to make the time allowed. You may as well just have a nice schooling round.
Well, unfortunately, fence number 2 came down. That was the first one that came down for Patrick Pellin. And then 2 more fences down in that triple combination for a total of 12 faults, the time 73.85 seconds. So what happened here?
Hard to say from behind. I think he just got a little bit deep maybe, but I don't think it was a rider error necessarily.
Professional Nikolai Hahn moves back with the second line of the evening. Nikolai was our first to go clear this evening.
And I did clarify the rule on the World Cup, the horse that you ride. So the horse you ride first is the horse that you use for the qualification for Saturday night, but you can decide which horse you want to ride after the class.
Oh, okay.
So technically, the horse you ride doesn't have to jump this class even. It has to have completed an FEI class before Saturday night. So, if you've got 2 good horses, you could maybe be saving one for Saturday night, as long as you know the one that you choose to qualify on tonight is good enough to get you qualified.
And Nikolai Hein-Roos back in the ring, rides for Spruce Meadows of Calgary aboard Cadillac, a 9-year-old Grey Gelding. Yeah, and this is a Hanoverian side by Korlensky G. He already has 1 in the jump off. In fact, Nikolai was the first to perfect this course.
Right. Well, that was a very pretty jumper, this horse.
I'm assuming Nikolai as well. I mean, obviously you want all your horses to go clear, but knowing that Carl has 2 chances in the jump off, Carl's super fast, Nikolai's super fast. I think, you kind of want to have more. It's like, I guess, buying lottery tickets. You want to have as more chances as possible.
Well, sure, and the more times you get in the ring, the more you know the course. So it's definitely an advantage to have multiple horses.
Well, a beautiful 9-year-old gelding. Once again, owned by Spruce Meadows of Calgary, Alberta. Nicely in through that triple combination. Little rub on the B element.
Yeah, this certainly is looking like a clear round to me, Davin.
Oh, yeah.
There we have it.
Nicely done.
A little close on the time.
73.64 seconds. Clear round. Nikolai Hein-Roos and Cadillac. He has 2 in the jump off. all 12 placings will be determined in the jump-off. Every placing tonight in our $36,500 Grand Prix qualifier will be determined in that jump-off round. Fence number 11, right there for Nikolai Hein-Roos. And then on the fence number 12.
He is a beautiful rider to watch, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Such a great ride. And Sears de Réseau Z, that is the next horse. This is a 9-year-old stallion. Molly Hay, the rider, for the Zangashara. Horse owned by Chelano Z, owned by Poden Farms. This horse, the entry of Poden Farms. Okay, so we do have those 12 clears, but a number remaining in the first round. As Molly Hay, the first of 7 remaining.
I wonder if some people sometimes maybe call her Molly. Hey.
She's a super rider. Oh, little tick there on fence number 6.
A little bit of a touch there. She had a little trouble in last night's class, but she got through the timers. She made a mistake to the last jump and fell off, but managed to get through the timers first. So
yes.
No one needs to know any further than that.
That's all that matters, as long as you
get
that finish line.
Oh, saved that a little because the horse did jump awkward, so I'm not surprised it had B down because again, I think sometimes they just don't focus on all 3 in a row so easily.
Okay, so 4 jumping faults. Here she comes to the final fence. Nicely ridden. Okay, we're going to pick up 1 time fault as well, 75.28 seconds. Molly Hay. So 1 time fault, 4 jumping faults, a time 75.28 seconds. So a total of a handful of faults. That triple combination, again, but as you said, I mean, and you watch this horse coming in.
Yeah, so again, it lost her lead in front and had to straighten the horse out quickly, and I just don't think she could save it at B. But all in all, very well ridden.
Just a super young rider. Okay, so Nikolai Hein-Roos has 2 in the jump off. Carl Cook with 2 in the jump off.
Sky Partners, the new platinum sponsor of the Sacramento International Horse Show. Great to have Sky Partners joining the team. You ask who is Sky Partners? Well, it's right in the name there.
As we have a total list of 12 to come back for the jump off round. And Vanessa Mannix back in the ring. She already has qualified her first ride for the jump-off. And Valentino, a Delta 10-year-old gelding, Son Francais. So, Nikolai has 2. Carl Cook has 2. She goes clear as well. She's going to have 2 chances in the jump-off.
Vanessa, again representing the country of Canada. And she's aboard the 10-year-old gelding, Valentino.
So Vanessa Mannix heading down to that first fence.
Both of her horses are such stylish jumpers.
549 next, 549, first of 5.
This horse has a big step. It's deceiving. It's such a quick front end.
Well, and here we come on to fence number 4. We went through that first of the combinations. And Vanessa Mannix being from the Great White North, well, actually Calgary, Alberta was the Great White North this last weekend.
I've heard it's been snowing there already.
Ooh, rub on fence number 6.
Stayed up, though.
So I'm sure that Vanessa's probably happy to be down here in Northern California, where we've had absolutely gorgeous weather. Oh, what a great ride of fence number 9.
Yeah, she's pretty consistent here, Davin.
Solid in.
Really nice horses, the types that she has. They're similar types. They have a lot of blood. They carry her well. And this is looking very uncomplicated for she and this horse.
Okay, so she just has 1 remaining. That's it. What a great ride. Oh, wow. Is that smile says
Very
it all
impressive.
as well. Vanessa Mannix, clear round the time, 70.98 seconds. Well, so Carl was the first to get 2 in the jump off. Nikolai was like, hey, I'm going to do that. I want 2 in the jump off. Vanessa Mannix said the exact same thing. She gets her second in the jump off as well. What a great ride to this final fence here, fence number 12.
Yeah, she really took her time, reorganized the horse.
Well, this is where we come to this fun part. So I keep going on. Carl has 2. Nikolai has 2. Now Vanessa has 2. Well, here's a second ride for Viggo Bjorklund. He already has 1 in the jump off. I'm thinking I want this trend to continue.
I think so too. I think it's really fun. And this is the horse that he won last Saturday night's $40,000 Grand Prix on. And it's really a cool horse. It's maybe not the prettiest horse, as he's willing to admit, but it's fast, it jumps.
And so Viggo Bjorklund aboard Zalubay, a 12-year-old gelding here. I don't know, my fingers are crossed. I think it'd be great to have Viggo with 2 in the jump off. He makes that turn for fence number 4.
Yeah, in these small indoor situations, it's hard. You know, the horse. It's very easy for the horse to get his eye on the wrong jump for just a second.
Now, is it easy to get, I guess, off pace?
It is, and the horse spooked a little bit there and got backed away from the wall. So he's having to really pay attention, and hopefully that won't happen again to the combination. Whoa! Oh,
wow.
Wow, he really saved that, didn't he? That just shows how much scope this horse has. He likes to show his teeth a lot, too. Okay.
Oh, no touch to the beat. Oh, wow.
All right, he's saving this, Davin, but this is not easy, huh?
They are both working for this. Okay, there's fence 11.
He's very distracted, I think,
Come on,
by
Viggo.
the crowd, so gave him a little extra leg there.
Oh,
Couldn't quite save it at the end.
The last jump, the last rail, the back rail on the ox.
Well, you know, it was not turning out to be that easy of a round, so I'm not surprised that it finally caught up to him. But it looked to me like he was a little bit green
and you see how
along the
far
side
off
of the
the
rail
base he
there,
left for
so
that.
far away.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, but again, he was looking into the crowd, probably looking at the jumbotron a little bit. Up there, watching himself in the jumbotron.
It's always
there.
nice to see when they're smiling coming into that triple combination. As Zalubay was
Right?
smiling. You never know when a photo opportunity is going to happen. 4 jumping faults, 73.84 seconds. And unfortunately, so Viggo will just have 1 in the jump off round. And Emma Catherine Rockow rides and owns Kubiki. This is a 10-year-old stallion. Her second ride.
This is a very pretty horse.
Now, Emma going 41st in the order. Her first ride was 16th. So she's had a little bit of time to go watch some other riders go around.
Right, she probably doesn't want to watch too many. I mean, I find for myself, it's nice if you are able to watch a couple, and see how the lines are riding compared to how you walked, if you have options in your mind. But watching too many just makes you doubt yourself. It's too bad she had that vertical down behind. Maybe she got there a little fast.
Oh, that's too bad. Fence number 6 down. Fence number 7 coming down as well. So she's sitting with 8 faults as she makes that turn to fence number 9. And that was that fence that Viggo Bjorklund Supermaned over.
Right.
That was impressive. Touch on the B. So nicely through that triple combination.
She sure is a super talent, though, I must say. She's got a great career ahead of her.
So 8 faults as she comes down to fence number 12. Time definitely not a factor there. 70.72 seconds for Emma and Kubiki. 8 jumping faults, so they will not change our top placings. But still 13 coming back for the jump-off round. And 3 remaining, round number 1, $36,500 Grand Prix Qualifier. As we see Emma Catherine come down to that final oxer. Just a great ride. That's such a neat 10-year-old stallion.
Yeah, it's a good horse for her, I think.
Sports, which dates back more than 150 years today. The brand is involved in the most important equestrian events held all over the world. And of course, the official launch here at Sacramento International is the new ladies model.
And so we just have 3 remaining here in round number 1. So far, 13 qualified for the jump-off. Nikolai Hein-Rus. He will be the first back. Remember, we do have 3 left in this first round. Guy Thomas will be second back, Viggo Bjorklund, followed by Aaron Davis Heineken, Carl Cook, Carrie Rufer, Vanessa Mannix, Cassio Rivetti, Zazu Hoffman, Will Simpson, Carl Cook, Nikolai Hein-Rus, and Vanessa Mannix. Well, Chaco is our next horse, 13-year-old gelding. This rider, he is back, Cassio Rivetti, and he's qualified 1 for the jump-off round.
I got 5 jump-off.
And this is an Oldenburg, 13-year-old gelding, sired by Chaco Blue.
Can you repeat that?
Now this is this brilliant rider from Brazil. So he may want 2 chances as well. Have 2 in the jump-off.
Here, which is fine with me, and there's 2 left here.
Hey, Sharon, drop it.
Got it. 10-minute break. It's not really long enough for us to work up. No.
Okay, so on to that first of the 2 combinations.
So far, looking very uncomplicated.
This horse looks like it really jumps with ease. Okay, so fence number 6, making that turn to fence number 7, come across that diagonal. 7.
Yeah, this is looking nice and simple. And
It does look like Cassio may have 2 in the jump-off, with only 5 jumping efforts remaining. But here's this triple combination.
quiet there. He's going to have to make a bit of an effort there, which he did, and that wasn't a problem at all. I think he's okay on time, so this is really a lovely round.
71, 72. Oh, he may have time.
Oh, time fault. You know, I think he added a step maybe in the last line there, Gavin. I think maybe he kind of reorganized and ended up on 9 strides instead of 8, and that's what gave him that time fault. That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. 74.27 seconds. Actually, as he landed off of fence number 11 here in the crowd, I could hear somebody yell, "Go!" And just
5, 6. No, he did get 8 strides there. I guess I was wrong, but just was a little quiet. I mean, I was saying how simple and quiet the whole round was, and maybe it just needed to be a little bit less so.
it was a nice, relaxing round. It was a beautiful round to watch.
And relaxing round.
Well, maybe not for. I was enjoying it, so I was nice and relaxed. And Matthias Schwenker rides for NKH LLC aboard NKH Caruso, a 15-year-old gelding. Retired by Cash and Carry. This rider rides for Germany, first of just 2 remaining. Yeah, first of 2 rides, second ride for Mathis from Germany.
It was a very quick around there. So he's very efficient time-wise. You know, he's just cantered right around that vertical to get to jump 2.
Because this rider on his first ride had the 1 time penalty with a time of 75.32.
Right, so he doesn't want that to happen again, so he's trying to make up for that. He'd still like to have 1 in the jump-off. We all need to do our jump-offs, you know. It's hard to go fast when you don't go fast all the time.
That's very true.
So any chance you get, you got to practice it. Wow, so much height there.
So for these riders, these horses, as you mentioned, I mean, it's hard to practice the jump off if you don't go in them. Do you practice going faster at home as well to mimic?
No, I don't. I mean, I maybe some people do. I never go fast at home. I mean, I will make practice turns and practice galloping a jump maybe, but it's never quite the same thing.
Very true.
You know.
Well, I think second time's a charm
That
here.
was beautiful.
72.54 seconds. He made sure that second time was going to be clear. And now 14 for
clear.
the jump off.
With one left.
And so right now he is the last one to come back for the jump off with one remaining here in round number 1. And just a great ride to that final fence, fence number 12. With the candy cane stripes on that.
Yeah, he's got to be relieved about the time because I knew he made more of an effort that time, making up for his mistake on the first horse.
Well, Nicholas De La Joyo aboard Blueberry. This horse owned by Jose Pablo Salgado. And this is a young horse, an 8-year-old gray mare. This is the Celle Francais, sired by Conrad. So second time in the ring for Nick De La Joyo. And Nick was aboard the young 8-year-old mare Blueberry, last to go.
Blueberry's wearing a blue bit.
Well, we certainly saw for Mathies that was a great second ride for him, second chance. This could be a great second chance for Nicholas De La Joyo. This seems to be a super talented 8-year-old mare.
Right, and so he's going to give her a confident ride. Certainly very talented.
Okay, fence number 7 and 8. Just 3 strides.
Okay, so we'll see, being green, we'll see how she handles this combination. Oh, a little bit of a light rub there, but got away with it. And then she looks like she fights his hand just a little bit. Yeah. I think that's just a little bit of greenness there. She just got a little distracted, and she shakes her head a little bit. Very talented horse, though. 4
jumping faults for Nicholas and Blueberry. And that's what it's going to be.
Jumped that beautifully.
That horse has got a lot of power. So 71.98 seconds, 4 jumping faults for Nicholas De La Joyo and Blueberry. Well, 14 to come back for the jump off. We are in for an incredible jump off round as we see Nicholas just come into that triple combination.
Not much of a rub. I mean, it really was not a big deal. I think the horse jumped pretty well. Almost kind of had it down with her sternum.
That is just
all right. We'll be
tough luck. So we're going to be right back
with our jump off very shortly, guys.
Some of those fences. So what you see on course, some of those fences actually will have disappeared.
Right. So they'll make a little more open space.
Because galloping, that's the key thing in the jump off. Well, and then leaving the fences up.
We'll be right back. down to number 14, which is a new jump on the course. And it will be an oxer next to the rail. It's very airy looking. And I think that it's possible 7 strides there. It walked in 8, but I think a lot of people will try to gallop up there in 7 strides. And then it will be a left-hand turn to 10 BC. So I think most people are going to try to probably go around that oxer to get to 10 BC. Then it's right-hand turn to 11. There's an inside turn. It used to be the skinny, but now it's a regular jump. So that actually makes it a little bit easier to go inside because there's room to shift left or right. So since it's a wider jump, I think you will probably see a lot of inside turns to number 11. And then they'll gallop to 3A, which I think is more off your eye than anything else, but I think I walked it and thought maybe you could get there in 9 strides. It walked 10.5. Then a left-hand roll back to number 4, which is the Longines vertical, and then a right turn. You'll pretty much have to go around that red oxer to get back to number 12. So it's there are a couple of options here, so we'll see what happens.
Well, we've got 14 coming back for the jump-off round, and I think we are going to have a super, super fun jump-off. So you mentioned fence 13 starts us off. They've seen that fence before.
Right, but coming the other direction. So it's the original 6, but it was coming the other direction. So they start with 13, and then they go to 14, which is a new jump on the course for the jump off only. And then they turn left and jump 10 BC.
So that vertical oxer with the 1-stride combination. And on to 11, 3A, 4, and 12.
Yeah, I like this jump off. This is Marina Aceveto's course, and I think it's a very good jump off course because there are some options, which I like.
Well, and Crusador Z, Nikolai Heine Roos for Denmark, rides a horse owned by Spruce Meadows. He's got 2 chances here in the jump off, and he is super fast.
Yeah, these are all fast. Now, granted, a lot of these guys they don't want to go too crazy tonight and try to win this because they don't want to make the horses too flat for Saturday night if these are the horses they're planning on riding on Saturday night. But I do think that winning is winning regardless of the money. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's the 7 I thought was there. Ooh, this is a very quick horse, and he's going inside. Ooh, that's tricky.
Ooh, very nicely done.
Slick. Yeah.
Very, very nicely done.
And he's going inside there, so he took both inside options.
Oh.
Kind of caught up to him there. Wow.
Wow, this horse can jump.
It certainly can. It's fun to watch. This is a fun pair to watch.
Just 1 fence remaining, 4 faulted.
Oh, wow. How did he get away with that? I'm not even sure.
What a time, 37.10 seconds, 4 jumping faults. Well, fence number 11.
All right, but 37.10 now. I think that was a very impressive jump off.
Yes.
Even having 1 down, I feel like that's going to be tough to beat time-wise.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. But since he took both inside turns, look how he jumped. Look how high he jumped that. That's incredible.
That is absolutely amazing. So Guy Thomas for New Zealand aboard Jonquière Z. I think Guy's going to be taking both inside turns.
I don't see why not, but I don't know his plan. It's probably for Saturday night, so I don't think that this horse, there's nothing he really can't do. Easily in the 7, and there's the inside turn. That was very nicely done. Super. He decided to go around because it might feel like he might feel like it's less risky, and his horse covers so much ground. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he can do 1 less than most horses can.
That is amazing. Such a nice turn back to fence number 4.
Come on. And now you've got to get around that. So now he's going to be just a little cautious. But, excellent. Really good work, Guy. That was amazing.
38.57 seconds. What a great time in the jump-off. What a great jump-off ride. The first clear.
That was impressive.
That was super impressive. So New Zealand on top of the leaderboard. Denmark in second. See this beautiful turn back to fence number 4 for Guy Thomas. And he's got the turn to fence number 12. And you're right, Marina Azevedo having done such a beautiful job, and this is such a great jump off.
Yeah, I can't see changing much there. I mean, he took a chance and it paid off there. But boy, you are hitting right into right into the VIP.
They have to have the best seats in the house going, well, wow, the horse is
Yeah,
really right on top
just
of them.
as long as you don't want dirt clods in your cocktail.
Carlson is the 11-year-old gelding, the rider for Sweden, Viggo Bjorklund.
Now, we don't even have dirt clods anymore because we don't jump on
No.
dirt. But someone could be like, what's a dirt clod these days?
That's true.
Yeah, we don't have a pebble in these arenas anymore.
So time to beat 38.57 seconds just put in.
And that was the 7. Oh, that's
Oh.
I was going to say that's a little chancy, and it turned out to be a lot chancy.
So he's going to take that longer approach, make sure his horse gets his eye on this combination.
Okay, so at this point he knows he's, got to just play it cool.
Now, you see it, I mean, this horse has a shadow roll on its noseband. It's a little bit narrower than a lot you see.
And it sits a bit lower, too, so I'll have to get a close-up look at that later, if possible.
So he's going to be, he knows he's had that refusal as well.
Yeah, so he just wants to finish nicely, not make a big deal out of it. I mean, really, that was his own fault, and he knows it. It's not a big deal. It's a drive-by.
So 56.92 seconds. They will exceed that time allowed of 48 seconds. So we're going to have a total of 13 faults. Time faults in the jump off, they are 1 per 1 under FEI International Equestrian Federation rules. So they add up fairly quickly in the jump off.
Right, it changes from the first round to the jump off. So in the jump off, you do get 1 time fault per second.
In the
correct?
jump off,
Yeah,
yes.
in the jump off.
Circle open the 10 BC combination after that Longines. That's back. It's going to be 4 jumping balls. We'll have 9 on top. 56 change reported back.
So the 4 faults for that refusal, the 9 time faults. That's going to put Viggo in 3rd place so far. And first rider for the host nation, the USA, Erin Davis Heineken aboard Leone.
All right, so she's taking a look at that inside turn to the double, which apparently if you want to win, you're going to have to do. So you need a seasoned horse to be able to do that, I think.
And our time to beat 38.57. Leading time belongs to Guy Thomas.
I don't know, she is a fast rider. And this is a superb horse, Leone, owned by October Hill Hunters and Jumpers.
Okay, so she added a step there, but I think maybe she felt like she needed to be able to do that to make this inside turn.
Ooh, nice turn. Oh.
Yeah, like I said, it takes a seasoned pair, actually. A seasoned rider, seasoned horse, and I think that they both are, but it's still not that easy to do. I mean, if you're not, you either make it or you don't, so. The old horse, being 17 years old, is the one who has pretty much seen everything, so he was willing to do that.
Okay, so she's going to make the longer approach to that combination.
So I think a lot of people will probably end up going around.
Yes.
But we'll see. I mean, most of these guys now are, they do have a monitor in the warm-up area. So you can be on your horse and kind of, if you have a chance, you can take a look at the monitor and see what someone does. You're not only relying on what people tell you has been done before you get there. But
to the fence number 4, she's coming down to that final fence. She has 4 faults for that refusal. And then we're going to tack on just a number of time faults. And the total will be 31. So 4 jumping faults and 27 time. The time is 74.83 seconds. That's going to put them into 4th place. As a first rider for the host nation of the USA. So here was that turn, does the inside turn.
well, it was almost too tight. I think she had quite a bit more room that she could have used. And it's just tricky, Could have worked. I mean, I think it was worth a chance.
Winners 2 weeks ago, that's the number horsepower for the split rock, $100,000.
Well, we're going to stay with those riders for the USA. Carl Cook aboard Fessibel, a 9-year-old mare. Okay, so 38.57 seconds. That is our time to beat. Right now, still only one double clear.
And Carl likes to go fast, so you know he's always going to go for it. There's the 7. Very nicely done. This is a quick horse. Oh, wow. That was as quick as Aaron, but let's see if he pulls it off. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But then, you know, I think going around actually is, I looked at that when I walked it, it's almost quicker and less risky. So.
Because you can keep the gallop a little bit more through
Yeah, yeah, less chancy, and oh, that's also quick.
Ooh, what a super mare. Okay, so 38.57 seconds.
No, didn't quite get straight there, so he probably would have had the time, I feel, but
that is
technically that's not a stop because he still jumped it and went right through, so.
Well, yes, because I mean there was an effort to jump at that final fence, but that is just some tough luck.
But I think that he probably would have had the time, but he just didn't quite straighten her out at the last minute. And they do move away from that VIP area, you know, with all the people and the noise and what have you, so they move away a little bit. He just didn't react quite quickly enough.
Well, 38.66 seconds, 4 jumping faults for Bessie Bell and Carl Cook. Puts them into 3rd place.
And Carrie's a real competitor, but if I had to guess, I would say that she's probably going to be a little bit conservative on this horse because it is a newer, greener, looky-loo type of horse. So my feeling is, at this point, she's probably going to go around and give the horse some confidence.
Yeah, and you notice his ears are pricked. He's looking at pretty much everything.
Yeah, his eyes, his ears, he's very keen. So I think she's going to give him a positive ride and go for a clean but not super fast round.
So Carrie Rufer rides for the USA. This is Mr. Europe, that 10-year-old gelding.
Carrie, we're going to hold you up. Carrie, we're going to hold you up. Our apologies. Looks like it might have missed at fence number 12. Let me make sure everything is...
Okay, so since Carl annihilated the last jump and the jump off a little bit, for lack of a better term, they just want to make sure that they put it back together exactly the way it was for everyone else.
Which is, I mean, that's the only way to have an even playing field, is to make sure every single fence is exactly how it was for everybody else.
Of course. You can still certainly get 7 strides here. Of course, that's a big step.
This is a really neat horse Carrie Rufer has.
I stand corrected, but she still was
Nice.
very accurate there. That's okay, and that's just him being a little bit distracted, but I think she wanted to try it and give him the mileage.
Oh, that's too bad. So we're sitting at 8 faults to this point. Just 2 more jumping efforts. So she's swinging just a little bit wider, knowing with 8 faults.
Right, and he is looking, you know, so he just needs mileage. He needs mileage. He doesn't always focus on where she's focused. Yeah, same thing a little bit as Carl, but she kind of was able to at least straighten him out a little bit.
Well, 16 jumping faults, 41.85 seconds. That's going to put them into 5th place. Guy Thomas still in the lead aboard Johnny. That horse, Jonquier Z.
All right, so this is one of those situations that we're coming into in this jump off where it definitely pays to go toward the end because there are options that people are taking that are not working out. So, you know, we've really only got, what have we got, 1 clear?
Yes, just the 1
so, clear. Yeah, so, you know, you go later in the order in the jump off and you know that if you're clear, you're going to get a high ribbon. So the luck of the draw really pays off in this situation.
And when you talk about the luck of the draw, these are drawn orders of go.
Correct.
And it looks like our ground jury is asking Vanessa to hold up just a moment. It's the first of 2 rides in the jump off for the rider from Calgary, Alberta. Rides for Canada internationally. Vanessa Mannix aboard Katinka, a 10-year-old mare.
I'm not sure exactly what they're concerned about, but they're
They're
having her wait
holding
just
up,
a second. I
and
think, again,
it's-
because maybe Carrie struggled a little bit with the last oxer, they just want to make sure that the width is exactly the same
Okay,
as it was
yes.
supposed to be. So,
And it looks like. So, in fact, Murieta Azevedo was on the course to make sure, with the tapes out, and to make sure everything was just absolutely perfect. So the sound of the tone for Vanessa Mannix, first of 2 rides. Once again, she has this rider from Calgary, and she is aboard Katinka. Still just that one double clear.
all right. I have a good feeling about this. 1, 2,
Well, as you said,
3,
she's such a
4,
consistent
5, 6,
consistent
7.
rider.
And this horse, it just covers the ground, and she like went out in the 7. It looked like she was going slow.
Ooh, nice ride. Oh,
Ugh, wow. That inside turn is just really difficult to pull off.
so a little tick at fence number 11 there as well.
She got 8 strides there, like Guy Thomas did, but on a much smaller horse. So this horse just has a step that is incredible.
So sometimes when it comes down to you have a rail on the jump off like she's had. Do you regroup and say, okay, I'm just going to, try to obviously get a placing, but regroup for Saturday?
Well, at this point, you still kind of have to go for it because Four Faults is in second place.
Yes.
So the faster Four Faulter would put her into second place. But in this case, she ends up in 4th because she was quick, but she didn't go crazy.
No, she had a little bit wider turn coming back to fence number 4, 41.48 seconds. There's the second fence in the jump off, fence number 14. You see this turn, and a lot of horses have had this first vertical down. That was not a problem, but it was the oxer.
Yeah, but again, I think more horses would have trouble with the back rail of that oxer than the front. She has so much scope in that horse's step that she actually got there, and the horse didn't have enough space precisely. I mean, we're talking about a matter of inches there, I think. But it would be unusual to have the front rail there. I think she probably pressed thinking she needed to, and she didn't need to. It's a very, very scopy horse.
Well, but we saw 2 riders so far where possibly if they would have pressed, they wouldn't have had problems. Sorry, it was the one rider. It was Aaron Davis Heineken, where she threw that combination. If she'd pressed, maybe her horse would have got through it as opposed to deking out.
Correct.
I mean, it's hindsight's 20/20. Who knows what would have happened? But now we have the Brazilian rider Casa Ravetti and Don Vito. Oh!
Yeah. Again, he took a chance. Took a chance on that inside turn. Yeah, he hit the ground pretty hard, so he jumped up very quickly, but I think he's going to just need a second.
I think it's his shoulder.
He landed right on the collarbone, so that might have. I think he might be realizing he needs a little TLC.
Okay, so we do have. Obviously, we'll have our medical staff, and that's one of the nice things as well. Now with the.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be fine, but it looks like he might have just tweaked his collarbone a bit.
That was a tough fall, and these riders in the FEI competitions, when they do have a fall on course, it's mandatory that they are checked out by the paramedics.
Right.
Certainly great to see Casio back on his feet.
That was too bad because that was going to be pretty impressive.
Well, that is just some tough luck there for Casio Ravetti. Don Vito, the 11-year-old gelding. Well, Samson, too, fresh out of that warm-up ring. Zazu Hoffman rides to the USA. Source owned by Woodacre Stables.
And again, this is another horse that's older, experienced, and can probably pull off that inside turn, as can Zazu. So it's an interesting jump off, isn't it? Because everyone's going for it, and it's just not that easy to make that inside turn.
Exactly. And I was thinking that exact same thing, because how many people have tried that inside turn, and we've had 2 refusals, 1 fall off, and it's just.
I think you still if you want to win, you still need to do the inside turn, but I think you need to be a little more cautious in doing so. Maybe take 1 more step through the turn and get a little bit straighter. spoken from up here in the stands. If I were in this jump off, I would probably go around.
Okay, so Zazu Hoffman and Samson too.
There we go.
What a nice ride.
See? Oh, almost. Still, she had to try.
That's the whole thing. It's you're in the jump off. It's $36,500.
But she's still going for it, as I said, because being the fast for falter means she'd be in second right now. That was super.
Okay, so time holding down second place is 37.10.
Ooh, Zazu. Excellent. That was super. Look at the time.
Look at that.
Wow.
1/100th of a second between second and third place. Nikolai's time 37.10. Her time 37.11. That is wow.
1/100th of a second
And
between second and third.
that is absolutely amazing.
Well, she didn't waste time recovering from that. She knew what she had to do. She knew that there was only one clear, so she still kept going for it. I love that.
Okay,
All
so
right.
Choco P, Will Simpson. Now remember in the first round, Will did that really short approach to that first fence. Don't know if he can get that done in the jump-off round. But I know this horse likes to... It builds
Well, he
steam
doesn't
as it
wind
goes.
up much, so you see he picks up his canter much later than most people would. So you can never underestimate Will in the jump-offs. It's just a matter whether his horse can keep up with him.
So Will Simpson, Choco P. They're
And there's
super
the 7.
fast.
Everyone's doing 7 there. So see, he took one more step through the corner there, and it paid off.
Exactly what you said.
And he was a little patient there. And there's the 8. Oh, I think he
Okay.
could be quicker.
He's fast.
He could be, but let's see what happens to the last jump. Yeah, okay, so going that fast in the 8 to the Oxer sometimes catches up. This is just a very difficult jump off. And now we've got 2 down, so he was fast.
Also 37.50 seconds, 8 jumping faults.
It's a
Now,
messy
6th
jump off,
place.
isn't it, Davin?
It has been it's been super interesting because it right now it keeps you on the edge of your seat.
And the lighting's a bit dark over there, too. You can see the horse's shadow above it, you know. So the ring it's well lit, but there are places that are brighter than others. And I think those rails are difficult to see on a sunny day, let alone in the night classes.
Okay, first of just 4 remaining in the jump off. Caillou and Carl Cook, still just 1 clear. Does make it a little bit more gut-wrenching with Guy Thomas being the only clear for him. Is he?
I think, at this point, he's just waiting to see what will happen. But it is fun to be in that position.
This is such a neat horse, this 12-year-old gelding. Ooh.
Got away with it. And then very tidy around that. Wow. This is fast, Evan. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
All right. I think he's got him time-wise. If he can keep the jump up. And now he's going to be a little
When it
conservative.
comes down to this final fence that he had troubles with the last time.
I think he's got it, Davin.
What a ride.
Oh!
No!
Wow. Look at the time. 36.90. Here I said he was going to be conservative, and he wasn't one bit. But he does go right into second.
36.90 seconds. That final fence 2 times for Carl Cook.
I mean, it was a brilliant ride. He
was
didn't do anything
super.
wrong.
And you
You
see
know,
that
do you
expression.
get there straight, or do you take a chance to win? So, I don't know. He could have kept it up, too. It was just a situation.
Oh, so Guy Thomas still in first. This is a nail-biter right down to the end. Nikolai Heine Rus and Cadillac. This rider rides for Denmark. Rides the horse owned by Spruce Meadows. Guy Thomas in the lead. Only 1 double clear.
All right, now you know he's competitive, so let's see what he can do here. I think this horse is very quick naturally, And it's quick in the air, and sometimes that makes a difference too. He doesn't spend a lot of time in the air. He's going to be conservative though, because
I guess
there's only one clear.
If you're clear right now, even if you're
Yeah,
slower
you're
than
second.
Guy, you're in second.
Yeah, he can take his time and be second. He knows he's going to be in the top 5 because there's only 3 after him. So
Yeah, because if he moves into second, he'd have 1 in second, 1 in fourth, and that's great positioning.
And plus, he may be planning on using this horse on Saturday night, so there's no point in running around when Saturday night is really the goal here for some of these horses and riders. Then you become the slower four-faulter, and you drop into 7th.
That
Gotta love it.
Okay, so he wanted to be in second place, be the second fastest of the clears, but
It's a good
unfortunately,
strategy, but it didn't pay off, and that's the chance you take. Then you become a slow four-faulter, and you go from second to 7.
That one rail, right there, that one rail. Now in 7th place, Nikolai Hein-Orus. See, he's got that smile. He's like, yeah,
I gave it a shot.
I took the gamble. It just didn't work.
All right, so we've only got 2 left, and
okay, so Guy Thomas in the lead, Carl Cook in second, Nikolai Hein-Orus in third, Zazu Hoffman in fourth, Carl in 5th right now. Vanessa Mannix in 6th place. Nikolai Hein-Orus, well, he just moved into 7th. Well, 2 remaining in the jump-off. Next to go in the jump-off, that'll be Vanessa Mannix. That'll be her second ride. Not a whole bunch of horses between her first ride and her second.
right,
only
so they're
5.
going to probably be a minute getting her organized, but
Well, it has been quite the jump-off.
can you believe it? We've got 1 clear round with that many clears, but it is a very difficult jump-off, and it's technical, and they're like taking the chance it's there, but you either get it or you don't.
And they're all trying to shave things off, this, that, and the other thing. We just saw Nikolai Hein-Orus say, okay, you know what, not a problem. I'm going to go clear, but I'm going to go slow and get that clear round, do the outside turns and whatever. And unfortunately, that final fence came down for him.
Yeah, for no good reason either, I might add.
We just see that Vanessa Mannix just making her way to the gate here.
And it's a relatively small crowd this evening because it is a Thursday. And then tomorrow night we've got our meter 45. It's a speed class as well, I think. I think it's a meter 45 speed.
And Valentino Delta and Vanessa Mannix for Canada. First of just 2 remaining. I think at this point in time, you roll the dice. You got to go with it.
Well, it depends. As I said, you can only do 1 horse on Saturday night. I'm not sure which one she's planning to do. So, I think she was brilliant on the other one. But, I think she's a young girl. She's competitive. She's going to try to be first and second. Why not? She's got nothing to lose.
Exactly. Okay, where's she going? Where's she going?
Yeah, she's going to take the quiet route.
Okay.
We'll call it the quiet route.
Very nice ride.
But there's no reason not to. I still think it's a good strategy.
Because even right now, if moving into second, that's a good place to be in.
And it does look like this horse gets a little bit strong, so maybe racing around tonight might not be what she had in mind. So,
Okay,
so far so good. Like
just
she's
1 remaining.
really going around.
But this is the fence that Nikolai had down when he was trying to go for his clear.
Right.
Carl's had this fence down twice.
So there you go.
Okay.
2-time faults,
49.79 seconds. She's
but
got
she's
2 time
still into
faults.
second.
Still in second
Yeah,
place.
that's a very well thought out plan.
Very careful looking to get Valentino a nice positive experience. She did that. We got a clear jump off right.
So Guy Thomas in the lead. Vanessa Mannix, great ride. That was very, very calculated. Went outside on pretty much everything she possibly could. Or took the more cautious track, I guess, if you're going to put it that way. But Vanessa Mannix now in second place with just 2 time
Well,
faults.
let's see. What do you think he's going to do? I mean, if
Svenker and Cage Crusoe.
he's for sure second, if he's clear and under the time allowed.
Well, I got to say, the beginning part of the winter circuit in thermal this year, he came on like gangbusters. He won
He's a very good rider.
a number of Grand Prix. He's a great rider.
Here's what I think he's going to do. And I don't know, but I'm just guessing. I'm thinking he's going to go around to the double and inside to 11. I don't know why I think that.
I think he's going to go for it.
You think he's going to go for it?
I think he's going to go
All
for
right. I hope so.
it. So do I.
I hope you're right.
I'm kind of hoping for the Cinderella ending.
Come on, let's do it. Everyone's getting very quiet here.
Extremely quiet.
There's the 7.
Okay.
He's going inside. You're right. And he's going to go inside again. Yep.
Oh, goes inside again.
Come on. All right.
Okay,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's an extra stride there, but that's okay.
That's fine.
That's not going to change a whole lot.
Okay, 38.57 seconds. Time to beat. Gets his horse square to that one.
All right.
Okay, perfect. Just
So he's
one
got to
fence.
get straight here. I think he's got the time. Come on, come on, come on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There it is,
Wow.
right there. 36.94
Brilliant.
seconds. Wow.
Wow.
The Svenker and Cage
Okay, how fun was
Caruso.
that?
That was amazing. So
Look at
much
his smile.
fun.
That was brilliantly
Right
done.
here, the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Sacramento, our $36,500 Grand Prix qualifier. Cinderella ending. Save the best for last. That was absolutely amazing.
Okay, I can't wait for Saturday night, Davin. This was so much fun. We're going to have a great class on Saturday, and look at that.
Look at that. And it was such a good
He
calculated
did
ride.
go wide. He went wide, but he galloped, and so he got straight. He really didn't take a chance here. Very, very smart.
Oh.
Super smart, super fast. What a winner.
What a winner. Gets across that finish line, pats his horse because he's like, hey,
That's
thanks
so
for
much
the job.
fun.
So almost 2 seconds faster, a little second and a half faster than Guy Thomas, who ends up in second place. So Germany with the win, Guy Thomas, New Zealand in second, Vanessa Mannix with the 2-time faults in third, Carl Cook in fourth, Nicholas Heinen Rus, Crusader Z in fifth, Zazu Hoffman, Samson 2. They're going to take home 6th place. With our final results here, part of the Sacramento International Horse Show, and this qualifier at 1.50 meters. As you mentioned, Saturday it jumps up in height to 1.60 meters.
Right, and that is a World Cup qualifier, and there's another FEI class tomorrow night, the speed class, meter 45.
I will be watching you in.
You'll be watching me, wishing me luck with my young horse, and
Yes.
then I'll join you again on Saturday night.
So it's Carl Cook in 7th, Vanessa Mannix in 8th, Nikolai Heine Rus, Cadillac in 9th, Will Simpson, Chanko P in 10th, Vigo Bjorklund takes home in 11th place, and 12th to Gary Roofer and Mr. Europe. Well, that was such a fun event. Thank you at home for joining us.
Thank you, Davin.
And
good night, everyone.
yes, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks for joining us.
Halfway there, feel this bend and the fire's gone. could be my new prescription. Too much could be an overdose. All this trash talk make me itchy. Oh my shit. Everybody talks, everybody talks, everybody talks too much. It started with a whisper, and that was when I kissed her, and then she made my lips hurt. I could hear the chick chat.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment, we will have our top finishers joining us for our presentation. We'd like to call your attention to the red carpet. Joining us for our presentation this evening, manager of this terrific equestrian facility, Mary Ann Zabotan, manager of Murieta Equestrian Center, and of course, representing West Palms and the Sacramento International Horse Show, Dale Harvey. Ladies and gentlemen, here they come, our top finishers. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Let's congratulate our champion, N.K.H. Caruso and Mattis Schwenker. Mattis, on behalf of all of us here at the Sacramento International Horse Show, we want to congratulate you and the terrific jumper, Caruso, on a terrific win. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of the victory this evening by Mattis Schwenker, we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, remove cover for the playing of the German national anthem. Mattis, to you and Caruso, congratulations. Mattis and Caruso going to get that win picture, and again, joining Mattis for that photo, Mary Ann Zabotan and Dale Harvey. how about it? Let's congratulate our other top finishers. Let's put your hands together for Reserve Championship. Honors to Guy Thomas and John Kearsey. Guy, to you and Johnny, good work this evening. We'll give that third place ribbon and that eighth place ribbon both to Vanessa Mannix. She will finish third aboard Valentino, and she will take eighth place honors aboard Katinka. Mr. Carl Cook also receiving a couple of very nice ribbons this evening. He'll take fourth place honors aboard Kalu and seventh place honors aboard Bessie Bear. Fifth place honors will go to Crusader Z and Nikolai Hein Roos. We will also congratulate Nikolai on a ninth place finish aboard Cadillac. Samson 2 and Zazu Hoffman taking the sixth place ribbon. 10th place honors will go to Chuck Gopi and Will Simpson. In 11th place, it was Carlson and Vigo Bjorklund. And rounding out our top 12, Mr. Europe and Kerry Roofer. Madis, again, our congratulations to you and Caruso. As our champions, the honor is yours. If you would please lead the way in our victory gallop. Once again, our top finishers: Caruso, John Kearsey, Valentino, Kalu, Crusader, Sampson, Fessy Bay, Katinka, Cadillac, Chaco, Carlson, and Mr. Europe. Hey, we want to thank everybody for another great day here at the Sacramento International Horse Show. We are looking forward to a terrific weekend of show jumping as well. Here in the Grand Prix Arena, we're looking at an 11-hour break. We're going to fire things up around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Until then, on behalf of all of us here at the Sacramento International, we'll bid everybody a good evening and a namaste.
That's all, folks.